Oh, hey bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all the things going on in celebrity news, hot topics, anything going on in entertainment. We chat about it on this here show. So, before we get started, can you please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And also, before we get started with the show, I do want to apologize. I know I told you I was going to do a show yesterday, but child, I was tired. I just realized I didn't really have the wherewithal, the energy to really put together a show. I think maybe I need a mental health break. So a good 24 hours did well. And then on top of that, it really wasn't a lot of hot topics to talk about that were interesting to me. So I was like, I'll wait till today, and of course Tuesday comes, and it's like a whole lot of stuff that came out. So we got to talk about it. So we got to talk about the VMAs are moving. They had their initial date set, but now they're being pushed to another date, so that way they don't clash with the upcoming debate between Kamala Harris and that dumpster fire that was on Twitter yesterday doing his horrible ass interview with, you know, Genocide Clyde, or as somebody that posted something yesterday on social media and gave him a drag name, and I was like, that shit is funny. They referred to Elon Musk as Sissy SpaceX because he got the whole SpaceX thing. I was like, bitch, that is clever. And consider it stolen. So we have that story. Plus, Jimmy Kimmel is explaining the reason why he turned down the Oscars and says that the Oscars producers may have trouble finding a host in the future. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we got two Madonna stories. So one, she's paying tribute to her son, Rocco, who celebrated his birthday, two Leos. I know that. I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense why them two clashed and had like a hard time, when he was growing up and all that other stuff. Because, child, if you a Leo parent and a Leo child, I know how that goes. So we have that. Plus, there's some tea going on about this whole thing with Madonna was going to be going to Pompeii and renting out some place that was like a monumental type of spot, which was going to hold like 500 guests. There's whole drama about that. We got the story on that. Plus, Riri, apparently the album is done and she's going to be promoting it via Glastonbury. So we got to talk about that story that came out today. Plus, Tamar Braxton deleted her social media pages because, the Braxton show premiered, I think, on Sunday. I don't remember exactly what day, but I know over the weekend, people was going in on her on social media. She started going on a whole tirade, rant, whatever, doing a series of tweets, and decided to delete all her social media pages, which means that's basically she pulled the Britney child. Because then, like, by the end of the week, she'll be back on social media. They can't quit the internet. Plus, we got two Andy Cohen stories. One where he's demanding the judge to halt his legal battle with Leah McSweeney. Another one where Marc Daly, aka Kenya's ex-husband, all of a sudden decided now, after their divorce is finalized, to defend the woman when he should have been defending her throughout their marriage when they was actually together. So apparently, he's throwing shade at Andy Cohen. So we're going to talk about that, calling him a snake in chief. And here you would think that that would be a good name for Trump, but we're gonna give it to Miss Cohen, honey. So we got that story, plus the Brangelina are fighting and playing the whole blame game in regards of what happened with Pax. See, didn't I tell y'all that it was some situation that maybe Pax was acting out because the bullshit between them two is affecting the child? And that usually happens. A lot of you parents be so damn selfish with your infighting against each other that y'all don't be thinking about the kids and how that, divorce and all other stuff affects them. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we're going to go back a little back to the 90s and talk a little bit about Boy Meets World, because Danielle Fishel is revealing that the weight gain storyline that they put on the show, how that affected her, as well as Will Friedle, because at one point he did put on a couple of pounds too. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Bo DeMeo, created X-Men 97 and was very hands-on in regards to that series and was fired for reasons unknown. We still speculating on why that, why it happened. But he said he wasn't invited to the upcoming Emmys. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Hunter Schafer said she don't want to be called a trans activist. She said, I'm a tranny who's famous. Those are her words, not mine. So don't try to come for me with your pitchforks talking about I'm transphobic, because I'm not. That's words that was out of her mouth. And plus, we got some drag race tea. One with Deja Sky is basically slamming a seasoned queen in a cryptic rant. I can't stand when people just be throwing subs. I'm like, say it like you mean it. Ooh, ooh, shout it out in the words of Wendy Williams. And Misfits Alicious is throwing a little shade at Kennedy Davenport. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. And I'm sure there's other things that's going on in the industry that probably will pop up during the show. But before all of that coincides, I'll probably save whatever pops up for tomorrow. But those are the topics for today. So let me hit my banner and let me see who's in the chat. Robert is here. And Onyx is here. I'm getting the key of the Golden Girl. Oh, yeah, I heard about the whole thing, what you was talking about with the whole Golden Girls thing. I did see your message. The ageism and the racism that slipped through our ears. And there was a lot of stuff that, if we look back on it now, I'm like, girl, how did they get away with all that in TV? TV was like, it was like open season for a lot of really pushing, in regards of pushing the envelope, and they would do it in a way that was so clever. Now it's just like you can't get past nothing, get past people, and it's like people be quick to want to get canceled. So I kind of yearn for the days of like where you could push the envelope and get people to think in a clever, smart way. But back then, when you look at something, I'm like, oh, that was a little cringe. Then I see that a Boy George biopic is in the works. News came out an hour ago. I feel like people outside the community in UK aren't going to care. There's a lot of biopics going on. One, I just heard there's an Anthony Bourdain biopic coming out. That would be interesting because didn't he unalive himself? So they got an Anthony Bourdain biopic coming out, which I'm like, okay, I might want to check that out. They have a Baywatch docuseries that's coming out with, I know Carmen Electra is a part of it, and Pam Anderson. I am definitely watching that because, first of all, Baywatch was my show growing up. I used to live for that show. I watched Baywatch religiously like I watched Xena Warrior Princess. So I'm excited for that. There's a lot of biopics apparently, but you might be right. I mean, as much as I like Boy George and I grew up with Boy George, and I remember one of my cousins who used to say a lot of homophobic shit to me, which kind of gave me the side eye about his ugly ass. But his family used to make fun of him because he was a Boy George. I'm like, okay, the same queen with all them damn kids that was living for Boy George back in the 80s, all of a sudden you want to call everybody all kinds of faggots. Yeah, okay, so I did. Here's why I stay away from certain people, but whatever. So I might be interested in wanting to check that out. But it'll be interesting who they should get to play Boy George. Sam Smith? They kind of favor each other, quiet as it's kept. But anyway, let's get into our first topic. Let's talk about the VMAs. So the VMAs were supposed to come out. Well, it's supposed to air this month, I think. Oh no, it's supposed to air in September. Sorry. So yesterday, on the 12th, it was announced that Chappell, Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Camila Cabello, Glorilla, and Raul Alejandro are set to perform during this September 11th show. So it was supposed to come out on September 10th, but because it all of a sudden is clashing, which I don't know, like, did y'all not know that they were going to do a debate on that day? Like, there was so many times in the news that it was mentioned back and forth when Trump was trying to puss out and be like, oh, I want to go to Fox News. I want to debate Biden on ABC because I beat him the first time. But now that Kamala came along and he don't know what to do with himself, now all of a sudden he want to backpedal and be like, nah, I want to go on Fox News. Why? You mean the place that had to pay out $700 million for spreading lies? That same network? Okay. And it's like, sir, that's not how it works. If you commit to something being done on a day at a specific network, it shouldn't matter whether or not who your opponent is. If you feel like you got it in the bag, I'm going to debate anybody. I'll even debate the shit on the bottom of your shoe if I have to. So it shouldn't matter. But, it's always about, oh, I want an easy win. So, so yeah. So, and because of that, MTV was like, they had to move it. And I was like, you want to know, since this is going to be at the UBS Arena, I was like, are you sure if they even have, like, if you're moving it to the next day, like, they don't have anything booked? But apparently they don't. So that's why they were like, okay, we could move it to the next day. So we pull that picture up. Look at Raul Alejandro, fine ass. I'm like, what happened between him and Rosalia? That they not together. She done moved on to Jeremy Allen White though. But anyway, so it says that all except Cabello will be making their main stage debuts next month as the four-time Grammy nominee returns to the VMAs for a third time for a performance from her latest flop of an album. I threw the flop part in. C, XOXO, which I'm like, that is the dumbest fucking title for an album, but whatever. A girl wants to be Charlie XCX so damn bad with this era. And her album came and went like them two horrible ass singles from Katy Perry. Although I will say this, I'm not going to hit Katy too hard with a stray because I was listening to Lifetimes earlier. It happened to come on with the shuffle with my album because when you listen to certain pop acts, you get a bunch of stuff. I was listening to Lady Gaga earlier, and because I was at the gym, and I was listening to a bunch of other people, and all of a sudden that Lifetime song came on. I'm like, that damn chorus. That's the only best part of that song. That song has no second verse. It's only one verse, and they use some of the lyrics for the first verse and turn it into like a bridge. I'm like, this is not the laziest goddamn song I've ever heard. Although I will say that chorus does slap. Oh, no, you feel it? You can remember it. I want to love you to the end and then remain it. You know how that damn song goes. It's like that damn part has been in my head for the longest. So now I'm going to try to give it to y'all so it can get out of me. But anyway, let's get back to the thing. So they also said that fresh off her record-breaking turnouts at Lollapalooza and Governor's Ball earlier this summer, breakout star Roan will also perform for the first ever award show stage appearance at the VMAs. Because it's like Chappell Roan, even though she's been around since, I believe, 2014 or whatever the case is, she just like blew up overnight. And this is like the first time, and MTV's all about trying to capitalize off of what's popular. They never really been about breaking ground or whatever the case is. Y'all just be jumping on 2000 and late. But MTV be always trying to act like y'all pioneers and shit. I'm like, okay, Chad. The 5 2024 VMA performers only scratch the surface of the list of artists taking the stage, which MTV plans to reveal in the upcoming weeks. Each of the announced performers is nominated at this year's VMAs, and Carpenter leads the pack with 6 nominations, including Artist of the Year and Song of the Year for her viral hit Espresso, which I'm mad at TikTok because I've actually put up Meatball, from who was on Dragula and was like a prominent drag queen in LA, and she also does her fat slut party in LA and New York. And I went to it the other day, which I posted the videos and stuff, and I was trying to put up her performance of Espresso, where she comes out dressed as a waitress with these giant boobs, and she takes her top off and she reveals like this prosthetic breastplate when she's basically makes an espresso from breast milk on stage in front of the audience as a whipped cream, has herself a cup, and then gives cups out to the audience. I'm like, this shit is I live for that performance. But I've tried to post it on TikTok. They took it down, talking about it was going against their standards. Whatever. I said, y'all are annoying. And I can't even place it on like Facebook or any of the other sites because music copyright. So it's annoying when you see a good thing and you can't even post it on social media for people to see. But anyway, so it says Roan is the only one among the bunch who earned a Best New Artist nomination, plus a MTV Push Performance of the Year nod, along with Glorilla. Meanwhile, Alejandro is nominated for Best Latin and Cabello is up for Best Pop. This year's VMAs also has 29 first-time nominees, including Carpenter, Roan, Alejandro, Tyler, Make Me Sweat, Make Me Holla, Jelly Roll, Sexy Red, Victoria Monet, and many more. Now, in addition to the performers, MTV also announced on Monday that the 2024 VMAs will move from its original date from September 10th to September 11th, which will recognize the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. Child, don't even remind me, because I remember where I was when them towers got hit by the plane. It said the network notes that it will support the nonprofit 9/11 Day, aka September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance, and Tuesday's Children, which acknowledges the families of 9/11. Now, as previously announced, Taylor Swift is the most nominated artist at the 2024 VMAs, coming out with 10 total nominations, with her Fortnite collaborator Post Malone close behind with 9. Other big names up for Moon People this year include Ariana Grande, Frappuccino, Eminem, Megan Thee Stallion, SZA, and Olivia Rodrigo. So could we be expecting all these artists to actually be performing, including Eminem? And I do wonder, because we haven't even gotten an idea of who is going to be your Video Vanguard Award person. The rumor is it's supposed to be, I think, Lady Gaga. And then they're supposed to have, who did they say that they were going to have? Oh, they said the rumor is they were supposed to have Britney Spears present her with the award. I don't know if that's true, but because I believe that. Did Britney ever win a video? See, look, there's so many damn award shows. I can't never remember who y'all be giving awards to. Did Britney? I believe Britney won a Video Vanguard, and Lady Gaga presented her with it, if I'm not mistaken. So they're trying to say they want to flip it and reverse it, in the words of Missy Elliott, and have them do the same thing where, Britney does it to Gaga. So I am curious to be like, who's going to be the Video Vanguard recipient? I would have been like, why not Eminem? Eminem's put out some amazing music videos, or even try to get him to perform. I know that y'all be trying to say his album didn't really do all that well on the charts, but these days, who's really doing well on charts? Or do we even care about charts? So, I am curious of who they're going to have to be the Video Vanguard recipient. So I know in the next coming weeks, like they said, they're going to be announcing more people who are going to be performing. So I will definitely be keeping abreast of that, as well as who is going to be the Video Vanguard recipient. So I will say this also. No shade, but I just feel like regardless of where y'all move the award show, I don't think people care enough. But I will be watching. I'm gonna record it. First of all, I have Philo, so that's the only way I get to watch anything from MTV. So I'm basically gonna record it on Philo. I'll probably spend more time fast forwarding through all that mess than actually watching it, and I'll just watch the performances. I know a lot of people like to. This is another thing I don't understand either with award shows. Why don't y'all make a deal with YouTube and broadcast it live on there? Because I feel like more people stream things on social media or YouTube, whatever the case is, than watch actual cable channels. Like, I don't even know what the hell MTV is on my television. The only way I know is because like I said, I'm a subscriber of Philo, and they have MTV. So I basically would have to record it that way, and then I would have to watch it like that. So that way I could just fast forward through all the boring parts, which is mostly most of these damn award shows, and I just stick it out and watch the performances. I don't care who wins these awards, because quiet as it's kept, when 2025 comes, we ain't gonna remember who won this year any damn way. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding the VMAs? Are you excited for the list of performers that I mentioned? And are you looking forward to seeing the performances and finding out more of who's going to be added to the docket, as well as who's going to probably be this year's Video Vanguard recipient? Whatever your thoughts are on this story, I had to remember what exactly I'm doing. A story. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's scroll on up to the comments. You said the fact that everybody is thinking he has it. All the judges I kept watching are saying this isn't 2016. People wake up and now see how unhit. Oh, you're talking about the fat turd? But I have to say that is the ultimate cackle when there's somebody called Elon Musk Sissy SpaceX. So that is funny. And then they call JD Vance because after I asked y'all to send me the picture of him in drag, they refer to him as Sophia Loren. Because, play on Sophia Loren. I was like, that is clever. The way that y'all be coming up with drag names, I was like, you know what? I always thought about, like, if I was to ever do drag, what would be my drag name? If y'all had some ideas, y'all could definitely throw it in the thing. But I always said, like, maybe my name would probably be Disgrace Jones. That's always the name. Or, if I was to do like a whole nun thing, but nuns, that whole nun get up would get old real quick. So I did say one of my drag names would be Sister Mary Good Pussy. So I was like, but then after a while, the nun thing would get a little old. I feel like the one who's good with that is Sister Roma. She'd be doing that whole nun get up. If you know, you know. But other than that, I was like, yeah, that would be a cute name. But anyway, so it's I saw Sabrina's shirt at Target, and I was about to get it, but then I remembered I only like. I mean, no shade, but isn't that like what a lot of people um regarding like, okay, Sabrina, you know, she has some songs, but people really know her music like that, or do you feel like Sabrina Carpenter all of a sudden is like an industry plant, as they like to, you know, that's like a word everybody likes using, industry plant, or um basically like she's being pushed by the industry, but it's like, but we don't really know her songs. We're just gonna go and support because we want to be there in the moment and see her. But do y'all really know her music like that? Because all of a sudden, I just heard of her recently. I wasn't really following her, and I knew she was on Girl Meets World, but other than that, I wasn't even knowing that she was doing music. But then again, a lot of people who come from Disney and Nickelodeon stuff, they end up, you know, doing both, the music and then acting. So Lifetime is getting a Katy Perry lawsuit as she filmed on a private. So she's in a lawsuit because of the music video. She wasn't supposed to be there filming a music video on a private island. I said Trump sounded like his teeth were out in that interview. He always talked like he's missing teeth. Come on, false teeth, let's get sick. You know, it's like he can't even talk with them veneers in his mouth. And you know, he be getting the cotton mouth because, you know, allegedly he snorts Adderall. Out and just like his son does the booger sugar. You know, he old cokehead, allegedly. Sabrina Carpenter has been issuing albums since 2015. It's odd how her switching labels, her first album for Island Emails I Can't Send began this rise when it peaked at 25 and went gold as a CD. But yeah, she's been putting out music for a long time. You know, when you consistent, it'll push them out there. Just like I was saying, Chappell been around since about around the same time, like 2014, 2015. And now her career is taking off. You know, they always say that overnight success take about a decade. And I truly believe that. Britney won in 2011. Remember, Gaga tried to, oh yeah. Britney said I already did it. I said, don't be trying to look. And why you think Madonna called her ass reductive? Because you out here trying to do some shit she already did. You should have kissed Christina because her part kept getting cut from the MTV VMAs. Nobody remembers the part where Christina also gets kissed because, you know, production were so fixated on getting Justin's reaction, which he said he was unbothered. Bitch, your fake said otherwise. You can't lie. And he said she was never that interesting before this year, to be honest, even with the Olivia Rodrigo drama, Era Tour, and EICS era, I never cared enough to listen to a single song until 1 month after Express came out. Well, you know, I'll give her new album a gander. But you know, I'm just like, look, my go-to right now is like Charlie XCX. That's my obsession. Well, it's always been my obsession, but I've just been listening to her a lot more than usual. You'll subscribe it to wait, what? Because MTV, I don't get the weird part about, which irritates me about Paramount Plus. I don't understand, how do you have a streaming service but you don't stream stuff from your actual, from all the, you know, the Viacom stuff on there? Why do I have to figure out a way to watch Drag Race? Drag Race, regular season Drag Race should be on Paramount Plus. That's the way you get people to subscribe because they can watch it there. The challenge should be on Drag Race, not Drag Race. The challenge should be on Paramount Plus as well, not just All Stars. All Stars is on there. The same thing with Drag Race. Why is it only Drag Race All Stars is on, and you got to wait months for the current season of Drag Race? Like they just put up a couple of weeks ago, season 16. They just dropped it on Paramount Plus, and now this week we're about to get Global All Star, or not Global All Stars. What is it? RuPaul's Drag Race Global, whatever the fuck they call it. Look, it's so many goddamn shows. I can't remember the name of all them damn titles. But they got the global one coming out this week, this Friday on Paramount Plus. So yeah, that's cute or whatever. But why isn't Drag Race on there? Like that's stupid to me. Y'all should be having like a channel where you just put the stuff up there. All the other streaming services does it. Why the hell y'all not doing it? And they wonder why they don't really have that many. They struggling over there at Paramount because y'all making dumb decisions. Which I really hope Chappell doesn't come out in a Halloween costume and call it drag. Well, you want to know something, and I say that, like, girl, if you out here calling yourself a drag queen, which I believe the reason why she does that because she says, like, when I dress up in the regalia and everything, it gives me the confidence to get out there and perform. Like, I can separate me from, the person and the artist and the performer, whatever you want to call it. So me getting up there dressed in the thing, that gives me the confidence. Otherwise, in life, because introvert extroverts, we're a lot like that. It's sort of like, if you're a performer, that gives you the energy to kind of pull, push yourself to give people a different side of yourself. So, but I do agree. You know what? If I was in Chappell's situation, I would actually hire people to do my hair, makeup, and make my outfits. Like, there's enough queens, drag queens, she can be acquainted with, and I'm sure she knows a couple where she can get people to help her out with her overall glam. Because they do be giving Party City. No shame. But we do be giving Party City, Miss Mamas. And so I see people still wearing Nirvana and Metallica shirts, but do they actually listen to what? And sometimes I be saying that too. But although I have like the only people I be like looking the other way in regards, I'd be like, yeah, you a fan, is when I be seeing some of the kids when I worked the Foo Fighters concert and I seen a couple of kids wearing Nirvana shirt. I'm like, yeah, okay, you did your homework because you know that Dave Grohl was in Nirvana before he went solo because once Kurt Cobain unalived himself, he started his own band. But I do be wondering that too. I'm like, if you wear a Nirvana shirt, sometimes we want to go up to them and be like, name a Nirvana song and not, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Now, if you said something like Rape Me, I'd be like, okay, now you got it because that wasn't was Rape Me a single? First of all, that damn title was so controversial. I'm like, if they was able to make that a single, because I remember seeing them perform that during Unplugged, and that was like, oh my God, that song gave me my life. I'm not sure. I need to look it up. I was like, what album was that on? Was that on their In Utero album? I need to look that up. And then the funny thing is, I remember when I did this thing, they made a joke about Nirvana and the little boy that was on the cover of that Nevermind album. And he was talking about that he sued Nirvana because they were gonna put a black mark over his peen, and he was traumatized growing up. And the way they said the joke, I'm like, you know what, you made a whole lot of sense. They was basically like, so you are complaining about this whole situation, but you were an infant. Like, nobody knows who the hell you are, what you look like from looking at the infant picture now that you're grown. Like, who would have known that was you? Unless, of course, your parents told you whatever. But you making a big spectacle out of it. Now people gonna be looking at you like, okay, why are you mad that you on the cover of an album naked in a pool trying to grab $1 on a fishing hook? Is it? I mean, unless your dick is the same size as it was in on that album cover. So I don't understand the whole drama behind that, but whatever. So it was like I wore a David Bowie shirt and Def Leppard jean jacket in 7th grade, and all my teachers were annoyed with me. They even asked me to name 3 Bowie songs and were surprised when I could. Yeah, because they were thinking like, you a poser. How would you know David Bowie? I'm like, David Bowie is a huge influence on a lot of people, particularly Lady Gaga. Like, she uses Bowie as influence. Madonna uses Bowie as influence. There's always been a lot of people who look at Bowie because he is the blueprint. He's someone who just did things on his own terms and, always switched it up. So people, when the glam rock era came on, it was Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. And then he was the Thin White Duke. And then he was so many other, he took on so many personas. And it was amazing how he was able to come up with, based off an album, he could come up with all these different personas and always change up his sound and evolve. I particularly love the fact, I think it was also an influence on 9 Inch Nails, obviously, because he worked and did Earthling with Trent Reznor. So him producing that, I'm like, that was a dream come true. But I just wish that I don't know, there will be no one like David Bowie in my lifetime or any other lifetime past it. He said, I watched the Grammys live on Paramount Plus. I'm sure it's going to be live there. Well, it need to. Well, because they have like a CBS thing going on over there, but I just don't understand. I think because that's CBS, that's not necessarily Viacom. Although they do call it Viacom CBS. So it doesn't make sense to me how they can have that live, but you won't do your other MTV stuff. Like it just doesn't make sense to me the way they do things. The way they have shit done, the way they're doing things over there. It's like I can't even talk all of a sudden. I sent you an article on Katie being what the hell is that blue thing? No, I'll have to look at that. And when I look at that, I'll probably add it to tomorrow's show because, we already got an action packed show as it is. Paramount is so shady for dropping Drag Race Mexico. Global All Stars got announced the same day. Drag Race, they're getting an India one too? India, Japan, and Korea. But first of all, I wonder what the drag scene is like in India. First of all, Chad, let me tell you, some Koreans can get it, Chad. Um, Japan and Korea. You know what? I would have been like, if they did one with Japan, they should have had Gia Gunn be a judge on that. Now, I don't see that happening. But yeah, we're already oversaturated with Drag Race. I don't think that they should create so many more. But if y'all have a way of getting enough, maybe they couldn't get enough queens to try out. Because I'm not familiar with the Korean drag scene, the Japanese drag scene, or the Indian drag scene. And for my international fish, if y'all know anything about all of that, let me know. Like, what's the scene like? Because I've never been in India, Japan, or Korea. I know they got a gay scene in Japan, and I think in Korea too. But I don't know necessarily about the drag girls. But wait, why did they drop Drag Race Mexico? Is it that nobody was watching it? Because no shade, I haven't watched the season at all yet. I've been busy watching Drag Race Canada, which we're going to get into a story about that later, and House on Fire, which I'm obsessed with that show. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but definitely if y'all have not seen it about the House of Miyake Mugler, y'all definitely need to check that show out. Like I said, I haven't seen any of the international drag. I would have been like, I was gonna throw a little shade and say you're not missing nothing, but they got some good ones. I mean, I don't watch all of them either because it like I be getting overwhelmed and anxious. So I'm like, I can't because if I'm in the middle of one of them, I'm like, I really don't want to sit here and watch all of these. But I do keep up with. I watch España, I watch France, I tolerate Canada, although I don't really commit to it except last season because they had, you know, Marina, my linda verga, as she says her name, because she had her on there. She was still on her ghost. That was the only reason why I watched. And Denim was getting on my damn nerves. So I stuck it out with her and that tight ass vocal fry. So there was some people on there that I watched it for. But other than that, I really do not like Canada's Drag Race. I do not like any of the people that judge or host the show. I don't find that they all even have the personality to keep that show going, but that's the way they want to keep it. And which I don't also understand is either. Why is it that y'all have RuPaul doing like the she done already done had hers thing? Or she does the voiceover and all that. So why'd y'all have her do that, but she don't do Canada? Like to me, I'd have been like, just get rid of all them broads and just have her and Michelle do Canada. Or maybe what it is, she tired of having to pay taxes in so many other places. That you was paying taxes in the UK, you got to pay taxes in the US, you would have to pay taxes in Canada, and you have to pay taxes down under. So I'm like, Chad, you got 4 different taxes. But look, if you can frack where you at in Wyoming, then it shouldn't be a problem that you doing all them tax or having your accountant do all your tax stuff in all them different places because of all the spinoffs. The charge Gen X and other groups, Metallica, the way they handled Napster off pissed. Well, I think it was Lars that everybody was irritated with that whole situation with the way he was going at Napster. They lost a lot of fans because of the Napster thing, made them look greedy. Pantera opened for them. People saw Pantera and left. First of all, I worked the Pantera show, and that's actually a pretty good band. Some of the fans irritated me based off some of the shit y'all was doing when I worked that show. But other than that, Pantera is a good show. But that is shady though. It's like, oh, I'm gonna watch Pantera and then I'm gonna leave. That's probably I think that was the same way that they did with when I worked the a recent rock show that I did. I was trying to remember that. Which one did I do again? Because I'll be doing so damn many. There was what I did with Journey, and it was another band that just escaped my brain. But they watched Journey, and then some of the people left right after they saw Journey. Don't stop believing. No disrespect to him or his feelings, but he is literally on the cover of probably the most iconic and recognizable album of all time with from beloved band. But he wants to complain about it. That's what I'm saying. I would be honored. Be like, yeah, I was a baby. You know, I made my feature debut on the cover of Nirvana's album. And didn't he reenact it as well? I could have sworn that they did a reenactment of the kid. It must have been, I think it was an Entertainment Weekly or one of those magazines that they did something like that. It said, and David's son and said Gaga was awful. My father hated her. You could have asked Madonna and British artists. Wait, did he just did David Bowie just like Lady Gaga? Probably because they always felt like she was disingenuous in regards of her tributes. The quiet as it's kept, Grace Jones ain't like her ass either, and she was trying to get a collaboration with Grace Jones. Grace Jones only did a collab. Who was she only? I think Rihanna wanted to get one with her. She was like, mm-mm. I think she was like, she's a poser, devoid of personality. And I like Rihanna, but yeah, she do give me. Rihanna does and musically gives me. She's a blank canvas that y'all can just throw some shit on her and she'll sell it. But and then but the only one she I think like the only major celebrity I feel like she did something with was Beyonce. But I'm trying to think who was the is it David Bowie's son the one I'm thinking is the one that was the film director? Because I believe he's having more than one kid. Most of those go on WoW, if I'm not surprised, because of the contracts, the MTV's exclusively. It depends because I think like internationally they do put all the other shows on Wow Presents Plus, but if it's homegrown, it goes on certain channels. It's the same thing like with Canada's Drag Race. It's on Crave, but if you don't have Canadian TV, it goes on Wow Presents Plus. So it gets outsourced to other networks. I'm sure Dragon India is very Bollywood inspired. I was thinking about, well, please do. I was thinking more or less I don't know if they're drag, but like the trans characters that they had in that Dev Patel movie that he came out with, because he had like this when there's a scene that happens where he gets down and out, beat up, all this other stuff, and he's recuperating, and these this cultured Indian group, damn, I forgot what they called them. Now I need to look it up, Chair. The Hijra, I believe they call them. They said, in the Indian subcontinent, Hijra are transgender, intersex, or eunuch people who live in communities that follow a kinship system known as the Guru Chela system. They are also known as Aravani, Aruvani, and Jogapa. The term used in Pakistan is Kawaja Sira, the equivalent of transgender in the Urdu language. So yeah, they had the Hijra people. They were in Dev Patel's movie that he came out with, Monkey Man, beating people up and killing them and shit. I was like, yes. Let me see we got the trans girls up in here beating people up, which we don't normally see. It's always they getting murdered, but they was up in there doing the murdering. So Madonna did a cover Rebel Rebel on the Rebel Heart tour right after he died. Yeah, I think Beyonce is the only artist. Grace Jones don't work with every damn body. But anyway, let's move on because we only did one topic so far. And let's get into Jimmy Kimmel. Oh my gosh, I didn't even I just closed the story. Please hold. Because I'm sitting here like so busy caught up in talking with y'all that I'm closing on my own damn topics. Please hold. Okay, I got it. I was like, bitch. But anyway, I had to pull up that. I had already had that picture. So let's get into it. So on Monday, the late night host, Jimmy Kimmel, joined Governor Gavin Newsom, Marshawn Lynch, and Doug Henriksen for their Politicking podcast. I didn't even know Gavin Newsom had a podcast. I'm like, damn, everybody got podcasts. Even people that supposed to be running the damn, I was going to say the country, but he running California. So it's part of the country. It's like one state. But anyway, so he was on the Politicking podcast. We opened up about his decision to not host the award show, as in the Oscars in 2025, saying it's hard and it's a lot of work, and the show suffers a little bit, to be honest. He explained, referencing the gig's impact on his nightly episodes of Jimmy Kimmel Live. When I'm focused on the Oscars, I'm less focused on the show, and I just decided I didn't want to deal with that this year. It was just too much last year. He continued by saying, you wind up pushing everything off till after the Oscars, then you have to do everything you promised to do after the Oscars. They said after the Oscars, but I think there was a glitch in the matrix in regards to them typing. Now, Kimmel also pointed out that when it comes to hosting Academy Awards, he's already had a well-established streak of success stories, saying, I did 2 years, it went well. I did another 2 years, went well. I figured I'd take a break. Now, across the last decade, Kimmel has emceed the Academy Awards 4 times, in 2017 and 2018, then again in 2023 and 2024. The broadcast in between his stints went hostless, save for the 2022 edition, which was led by Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes, which was a disaster. Except Regina Hall. First of all, Wanda Sykes, I live for you, but you just about as funny as Amy Schumer. But well, Amy Schumer was worse. I don't understand how that lady makes so much goddamn money, and I have yet to hear a joke to cackle at. She's like Tiffany. She's like basically the pale, wide back version of Tiffany Haddish. Kimmel went on to say that his experience hosting the show quickly becomes all-consuming, saying, I'm not good at balancing. It's not my strength, so I thought I'm all in when it comes to something like the Oscars. I think about it in the morning and at night, and I have ideas I want to work on. My nightly shows seem like a nuisance sometimes. Making matters more complicated, Kimmel's crew was also splitting time between the nightly show and the big broadcast, so we have all our writers from the show working on the Oscars, so it distracts them too. It's funny to do, and it's fun to do, and it feels good when it went well, but for me it was just too much to do it 3 years in a row. Now, I will say that we have yet to even get an idea of who's actually going to be hosting this year, because Jimmel, I guess we'll call that Jimmy Kimmel, combining both the names. But they were trying to get John Mulaney, but he also turned it down, I guess, because he's got a lot of things going on as well. And he didn't name names, Kimmel, I should say, or as who he would pick for the job, but he did share his theory about why no one has left at the opportunity to take his place. Because we always said, like, and I think other pundits on social media have mentioned that why they think that that it's going to be hard for people to even want to come on board and want to do the Oscars or any of these award shows, I guess. Except I'm hearing with the Emmys, they got oh my God, what's his name? Eugene Levy and his son is going to be hosting. So it said Dan Levy from, Schitt's Creek, which he's always my favorite character from that show. But anyway, so it said, I think there is a couple of people who would be good hosts for the Oscars. It's just a matter of most of them don't want to do it. It takes a lot of time and a lot of people who you think, oh yeah, that person would be great. She'd be great. He'd be great. They know they'd be great. They just don't want to do it. He said, especially when you think somebody's going to be great, the only thing they could do is prove you wrong when they host the Oscars. They say it's a thankless job, and I wouldn't necessarily describe it as that, because when it goes well, it isn't, but that's a tough spot to be in. And I think he's right with that. I think it's, back in the day when people hosted, and I think social media plays a lot into this, the fact that, back in the day, it was just like you could do a show, it wasn't a big thing, and then it is what it is. But now it's like when you hear a name of a host, people go, first the announcement of who's going to be hosting. And this could be like weeks before the award show is set to begin. The minute you hear it, people on social media with their theories and their theses on why they don't want them to be a part of the thing. Oh, they're horrible. They're not funny, and this or that. Or let me get a Kevin Hart type situation where y'all want to dig up shit in their past. Well, they said this homophobic joke like 25 years ago, and I'm offended. And then they're forced to come on and apologize. Oh, it's not genuine enough. Cancel them. Because, we in this whole thing of wanting to always come with our glittered pitchforks and our tiki torches and want to set people aflame and destroy careers over something somebody said 2 decades ago. So It is a thing. It does come across as a thankless job because it's like you don't realize the amount of work that goes into it. It's like, yeah, if I'm a late night talk show host, which first of all, that's 5 days a week, then I'm doing a show. So it's we working on jokes. I gotta sit work on the monologue. It's the interview process. Like you don't realize the amount of work that goes into putting together a late night or a talk show, period. It's a lot of work that goes into giving people an hour of your time and a lot of energy that you're putting out. And then on top of that, it's like, well, now I got to rehearse. I got to do I got to do my regular show. Then it's like, I got to go to the award show. We got to work on jokes. We got to, we got to come up with ideas. And then my writers are being split from doing over that. And then this, and then it's a lot. So I could definitely understand why a lot of people aren't interested in doing it. And plus on top of that, I feel like a lot of people are so critical these days that comedians are afraid to get out there and put themselves out there and want to do these type of jobs because people get on social media and they start their mess. So I say, well, listen, say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all upset that Jimmy Kimmel is not going to be back to host the upcoming Oscars? Are we all over award shows? Because I feel like there's way too many award shows. We don't really need that many award shows anymore. A lot of people don't even feel like these awards really provide any kind of weight or meaning or whatever the case. Like, it's great. Like the Oscars is basically the Super Bowl of cinema, just like the Grammys is the Super Bowl of the music world and industry and all that other stuff. So those are like the peak ones. But all these other award shows, like, do we really need all these damn award shows? And do people even care anymore? Because I feel like every year we always talk about award shows, and then the ratings are not all that great. Although I think the Oscars the ratings did bump up this year. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so Onyx says they should get Fallon to do it just to be shady if the network. Would they have a problem with that? Well, first of all, Jimmy Fallon's such a baby rump kisser. He just might do it. He don't want to offend nobody. The Oscars are one of the most boring shows. It damn show is because they be so uppity in regards of like the type of movies that they want to nominate. And I know a lot of people are like, well, they need to nominate stuff we watch, like Twisters or Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm like, child, that shit is for the MTV Movie and TV Awards. They're not trying to give those type of awards to an Oscar. Sometimes I think it probably killed them when they had to try to take a lot of the superhero movies seriously. And you can't lump all superhero movies in one thing, as some of them directors, like Martin Scorsese and a bunch of them have done, where they've thrown a little shade at a lot of the superhero movies and stuff. So I don't know. I just feel like the Oscars are the Oscars. They want to give Oppenheimer, everything. We had to sit and wait 3 damn hours to watch them blow up some shit. It's like, y'all just blow this shit up already. We already got, we really only need EGOT. The Golden Globes can be done over the phone. Not over the phone. First of all, the Golden Globes is so goddamn stupid. It's like, yeah, let's just keep the Emmys, the Grammys, the Oscars, and the Tonys. Those are the 4 that we need. All the other stuff, and then you know what? Because we always talk about, there's always complaints about how the Oscars don't acknowledge people of color. So we do need that alternative. Not that Hollywood Unlocked shit that they had to broadcast over there at Zeus. That the nigger nonsense network. That's what I call that. But we do need like Soul Train Awards, and we do need the NAACP Image Awards. So we definitely need those. And then I think Black people have their own awards too. Although it's ridiculous how we have to create award shows because the mainstream award shows don't see diversity. Or y'all be feeling like y'all doing us a damn favor because we gotta complain, and then y'all, you people, some of you clear folk, be so caught up in your own shit because y'all run every damn thing in Hollywood that, oh well, we want to seem progressive, so yeah, we'll throw a couple of y'all a bone. And the VMAs are for young. Yeah, they are. Well, they've always kind of skewered young. Halloween Unlocked Awards with paid celebrity. Sure, that shit was a mess. I know because some people was throwing shade at that whole Jason Lee Hollywood Unlocked Awards. I was reading the comments on Neighborhood Talk and all the other ones. Jonathan made yeah. I saw that foolishness. Sit over there crying over what was the award that he won for? It don't even mean shit anyway because everybody was cackling. Like, what the hell is a lipo Leah war gonna get you? It ain't worth the price of tea in China. Yes, Tank Top Tuesday. This is what I wore when I was on my way to the gym. I didn't work out in it, but when I went to the gym, I did wear this. How you doing? Now, let's move on. Let's talk about Madonna, who is celebrating Rocco's birthday. I cannot believe this boy is 24 years old. And he fine too. I said, Madonna, I'm not gonna try to climb your son. But I'm like, I just remember, it's always this thing like when you watch kids grow up, it's like, I remember you when you was little. But anyway, so Madonna is wishing her eldest son a happy birthday. Now let me pull up the picture because she had like a little carousel on her Instagram where she was wishing him a happy birthday. And she basically, the Queen of Pop's eldest son celebrated his birthday on Sunday as she took to social media to share the numerous looks that he has sported while growing up. Now, Madonna 65, who shares Rocco with her former husband, Guy Ritchie, wrote on Instagram, "Happy birthday, Rocco, the long and winding road." It didn't Sheryl Crow song "Every Day is a Winding Road." Anyway, the long and winding road through all your many moods and incarnations. Not moods, child. That was a read. But I guess it was like, sis, y'all both Leos. So you should know better than anybody about mood. So she said, the long and winding road through all your many moods and incarnations have been tumultuous and full of surprises. But through it all, your curiosity and artistic soul has been the glue that held us together. The Material Girl singer finished, "Thank God for art. Thank God for you. We have been together for many lifetimes." Child, maybe Madonna should have got a hold of that damn Katy Perry Lifetime song and probably could have did something better with it. "For many lifetimes, thank you for choosing me again. Love you for eternity." Now, Madonna is also mother to Lourdes, who's 27, David, who's 18, Mercy, also 18, and twins Stella and Esther, who are 11, and explained how she is delighted when all of her offspring get involved in her performances. Now, discussing the end of her celebration tour earlier this year, she told W Magazine, "When I go on tour, nothing brings me more happiness than to know we are all working on the same show, creating the magic together. Of course, I'm their mother, so sometimes we get on each other's nerves. We are a family of artists, but we're also a family, and that's what happens." Now, Madonna previously hailed her kids for their enthusiasm during the tour to mark her 40 years in music. She captioned an Instagram post, "On the day before our 80th show of the celebration tour, I need to acknowledge my incredibly talented children who carry me through this journey, each of them bringing their own unique talent to the stage. Rehearsals began over a year ago with almost a 2-month break waiting for me recover from a near-death experience. They never stopped practicing. They never stopped cheering me on and supporting me. Their enthusiasm kept me going." Rocco's father, as we said earlier, is film director Guy Ritchie, 55, who Madonna was married to from 2000 to 2008, and who was also father to David Banda. Now, in Sunday's birthday post, Madonna revealed Rocco had acting chops by sharing a video of him running lines. And I have to say, and I'm gonna show y'all this video. Rocco, in my opinion, has a spot on Cockney accent. He sounds like Adele. But then again, his father pretty much has does like the little Cockney accent and stuff every now and again. So, or I don't know if he has a Cockney accent, because I've heard Guy talk. Like, you can understand what he's saying, but I guess when he gets around his mates or whatever, that it gets like thicker. But yeah, let's play that clip for y'all to hear how spot on with the accent he is.
Wilma who? Wilma, lunch be ready soon?
But actually, I just want to show that real quick when he did "I'm Gonna Tell You a Secret." That little clip when they were telling each other corny jokes, and he would just crack up. I still remember that because "I'm Gonna Tell You a Secret" is actually one of my favorite documentaries. But anyway, let's move on. This is many looks. He was giving a little hipster there. This is giving me like ray of light tease with this picture. Oh no, not the pigtails.
It must be by his death, and for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned. How that might change his nature. There's the question. 'Tis the bright day that brings forth the hour, and that craves weary walking. Crown on that, I grant we put a sting in him. That, at his will, we may do danger with. Oh, it must be by his death, and for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned, how that might change his nature. There's the question.
Okay, so then we also have a couple of pictures where she was showing his artwork. We'll get to that in a second. Where's the artwork? So there's some of his paintings. So it goes to show that, you know what, Rocco was definitely talented. And, you know, he used to go by the name of Red. He actually owns his own art gallery. And he used to go by Red because I think he also wanted to be known as an artist on his own merit. I know some people be like, well, if it wasn't for your mother, you wouldn't have his other stuff. But I'm like, yeah, from when he was talking about you know, he's mentioned in the past that what got him into art is because both of his parents are artists and they always surrounded him with art. You already know Madonna is huge on like art and painters and stuff. Frida Kahlo was like one of her all-time favorite artists. So growing up in that whole atmosphere of your mother is an artist, your father's a filmmaker, so you know he's all about like visual art as well as your mother. She not only makes music, but she's also a visual artist. Your father's a filmmaker, so you know I'm sure he's seen a lot of artwork and paintings and stuff around the house, so that's also going to inspire him to want to learn that as well. And I thought this was a cute one too. I was like, okay, first of all, look at that back, this boy works out. And then number two, he's painting a nude model. And then, you know, they're showing him with his canvas and he's painting. He has and actually has a photo of his mother that he drew himself, or painted, I should say, of, you know, himself. So we'll leave it on that. But, you know, they said that, you know, she said, so happy to have the night off to enjoy my son Rocco's latest collection of paintings called Pack a Punch, inspired by Muay Thai fighters. At Miami Design District, she captured an Instagram post. So that was, you know, when he was doing like his art exhibit. Snaps posted from the evening showed the songstress posing beside his artwork along with images of all his siblings, bar Lourdes, admiring the collection. So the previous November, she had seen another one of his shows in Milan and branded herself the luckiest mom in the world. Now, Rocco 23 held a joint exhibition with Luigi and Lango, a Italian fashion photography duo who have beautifully captured numerous celebrities over the years, including Madonna. Now, during his segment of the show, Rocco approached a nude model, American Lindley Eilers, while smoking a cigarette. They stood in a small stage surrounded by candles and an orchestra. Lindley then took the cigarette from him and began to paint her completely naked body, bar a white base coat with reds, yellows, and blues. Madonna captured the post, a magical evening at the Palazzo Real. The exhibition of Louis Liango was amazing. So they saw this other stuff. What was the thing? I was looking for that quote, what he said. Now, they said that the talented artist told Vogue Hong Kong that although neither of his parents are painters, they fostered a love of art in him at a very young age. He said it certainly helped growing up in a house that was passionate about art and culture. Neither of my parents are painters, but both are artists in their own right, and they taught me to appreciate and respect it. Their shared fascination eventually piqued my interest, and since I can remember, I've always been surrounded by it. And remember, at one point, so it's good to see like he found his tribe. He is an artist. He's a very talented painter. And I will say that, you know, let's also remember that once upon a time, not long ago, Rocco was not in the best light with Madonna. And, you know, they were going back and forth and that sort of thing. I think it was because their divorce and everything, you know, Madonna and Guy divorce affected him growing up. So he kind of was going back and forth with his mother. He wanted to live with his father, and she let him do that for a while. And eventually, you know, they came back. He came back home, and now they're, you know, the best of spirits. And I'm kind of glad for that. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? I just want to give also Rocco a happy birthday. And that's why I said they butt heads because they both Leos. And you know, when you have somebody that's like you with the same sign, you know, there's gonna be issues where did I show y'all this picture? I do like this picture of Madonna and Rocco together. Wait, did it come up? Or did I think I hit the wrong button again. Hold on a second. Because I like this picture of like the Muay Thai fighter and they're at the art exhibit. That's a good one. So I'm just glad that they were able to work things out. And you know what? When you're older and you know better, you do better. So I think that's what kind of brought these two together is that he had to kind of go off and do his own thing. He was living out in the UK. He got to spend time with his father, and his father's now married with his own family. Madonna is not married. She has her own family, but you know, it's easier for men to find a new boo and kids or whatever, and a woman who's willing to not be the overshadower of the relationship. Like Guy was a director in his own way, but Madonna is one of the biggest pop stars on the planet and an icon. So you being in her shadow and having the kids and stuff, you were expecting her to sit and be demure. And for a period, she did do that. She kind of played the Susie Homemaker, very demure, very dressed up, you know, with the English roses, writing that book, and you know, wearing the sundresses and giving you her and the fake British accent, and giving you very much, you know, Kate Middleton tease before we even knew who the hell Kate Middleton was. So she gave you that, and then at one point she said, I gotta go, you know, I can't be doing this lady for long. Who this lady? You know, I'll do it for you for a minute, but at some point, I gotta do me, child. Oh, I was like, what is going on? I got a message. But anyway, so I say all this say I'm glad they worked it on out. And happy birthday, Rocco. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Now Dr. Giggles. Is that still on Shudder? I do love that movie. That movie is so terrible, but it's a fun movie to watch. Rest in peace to Larry Drake. They said the guy was disappointed when his girl said, put this on. And his face was like, I don't like this. He said, I can pull out. She was like, you get too lost and fail to pay. Wait, who are we talking about? And he said her and Rocco seem closer than, yeah. I think it's because he's a lot older. And then feel like when you're older, you start to appreciate a lot of things more. But he had to go through his little rebellious phase. Madonna encourages her kids to follow their passions, and he did. So, you know, because it wouldn't make sense that if I'm telling people to follow, you know, I'm going on and I followed my dreams and I left home, you know, Michigan to come to New York and I struggled and do all this other stuff, and then I'm gonna tell my kids that they can't do the same. Like that would be ridiculous. Yes, I did see that article that they ordered a Ghostbusters cartoon show. Hopefully, it's better than that Frozen movie that they just did. That movie was terrible. I sat and watched that couple of weeks ago. I'm like, this shit is stupid. I kind of wish that the director of the first one came back and directed it, but he didn't. He directed the new SNL movie, which I'm actually excited about seeing because I saw the trailer finally for it. But I was like, yeah, I definitely want to see that. But anyway, so let's go from one Madonna story to another, and let's talk about her birthday. So we were just up in here talking about Rocco and his birthday and him celebrating. I wonder what he did for his, you know, big 24. Well, you know, 25 is going to be the big number. Maybe he'll have a big bash. We'll see. But, you know, Madonna's 66th birthday is coming up this week. In 3 days, I should say. And so she's being criticized after it was reported that she plans to throw her 66th birthday party in Pompeii, a UNESCO, what is it, UNESCO World Heritage Site in southern Italy. Now, Madam X plans to throw a birthday party among the ancient ruins of Pompeii have sparked outrage among Italians as they discovered just how cheaply she is renting the historic site for. The Queen of Pop has reportedly hired the Teatro Grande, the 2,200-year-old amphitheater in Pompeii, for her 66th birthday on August 16th. Now, around 500 A-list guests are expected to attend, possibly including Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom, who are already on the island in the area. Well, they said on holiday. Because, you know, if you British, that's what they call vacation. The Italian Minister of Culture, Gennaro Sangiuliano, is also rumored to be on the guest list, local media has reported. Although the event is yet to be confirmed by the venue, Italian newspaper La Repubblica quoted the mayor of Pompeii saying, "We are ready to welcome the singer." And the Queen of Pop's Italian fan club has posted on Facebook that is preparing for her arrival. The historic amphitheater, which now hosts drama and music performances is believed to have been booked by an American events company for just 30,000, what is that, pounds? With the price alone shocking Italians. I think they also shot a scene from John Wick Chapter 2 at that, that spot that she's renting, if I'm not mistaken, because it does look like the same location. He also questioned why Madonna needed to go to Pompeii for her birthday and couldn't use a beautiful beach instead. Because she wants to. First of all, how you going to tell somebody to spend their damn money? Why she ain't go to the beach? Bitch, why didn't you go to the damn beach? How you going to sit up in here and tell me what I should rent and where I should go? If that's not what she want to do, then why should she have to? So he also asserted that Rosanna Carrieri, president of the Cultural Presence Group, just like me trying to read these damn names, me Riconischi, added that Italian heritage should be used as a scenic background for exclusive events. Madonna, who is of Italian descent on her father's side, has previously chosen to host her exclusive birthday parties in the country, with events held in Sicily and Puglia. Her grandparents immigrated to the United States from Percentro Abruzzo, but she is named after her mother despite the name Madonna being of Italian origin. Although she expects, it says, although the exact plans for her birthday party are yet to be confirmed, Madonna is expected to arrive in the area via the port of Marina di Stabia, close to Castellammare. She will then make her 15-minute journey to the ancient Teatro Grande by car, where the exclusive dinner will be held. Why are y'all sitting there spilling all her damn tea? There are also rumors Madonna's birthday celebrations could continue afterwards on a mega yacht in the Gulf of Naples. Well, first of all, I think based off of the tea that I'm hearing, because there's a story that's saying that they're having her party at the Pompeii archaeological site. First of all, the story came out that is not true, that she is having the party there. Let's start there with that. So, but they said Pompeii, once a thriving and wealthy Roman city with the population of around 11,000, was famously destroyed by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Well, damn, can you imagine living in that time? I probably did live in 79 AD. I just don't remember because, I do believe in reincarnation. The catastrophic event destroyed the city as well as the settlements of Herculaneum, Torre Annunziata, and Stabie, I think how you say that, killing up to 16,000 in the process. Did they make a whole movie called Pompeii with Jon Snow from Game of Thrones? Since the mid-1800s, the voids of these bodies left behind were eventually filled with plaster casts to recreate their final moments. Today, the ruins of Pompeii are a popular tourist attraction, drawing millions of visitors each year. The 2,200-year-old amphitheater, where Madonna is reported to be hosting her 66th birthday party, was once one of the thriving hubs in the city. The Queen of Pop also recently celebrated her son, as we talked about in the previous story, Rocco's birthday, as she sent him a heartfelt message when he turned 24 more. So, I will say this. There's been rumors or whatever that I just want to leave to Pompeii. This whole look and thing. Now, this do look good. I will say, like, when you have the type of money that Madonna has and the influence and the power and all this stuff, why wouldn't you want to have something there? But I would respect the history of the place and make sure that stuff doesn't even get any more damage, because it is a landmark. But according to a report that I got from Robert, who said this to me, he said Madonna will not be holding a birthday party at the Pompeii archaeological site. Instead, she will make a private visit, which is expected to be a cultural event. Naples prefect or perfect Michele Di Bari addressed the recent rumors about the international artist's plans to celebrate at the Pompeii archaeological park. He clarified that despite speculation of a party at the site, this is not the case, saying there's nothing of the sort. It's completely private visit, which I believe there will be a meeting with the park's director. There will be no dinner and no event for 500 people. DeBari further elaborated that there have been a productive meeting with the director of the Pompeii Archaeological Park, during which they discussed and implemented various measures to accommodate the visit. However, he emphasized there will be no party. The presence of the famous singer will be in a private capacity, and the park will be honored to host her. Given Madonna's high profile, DeBari mentioned that appropriate measures will be taken, as they are whenever events involving high-profile individuals who may attract large crowds occur. The visit, he reiterated, is entirely private and purely for cultural purposes. Madonna, who loves Pompeii, loves the archaeological park, and she's eager to visit, will be accompanied by a small entourage for this private cultural event. So here's the thing. It's not a party. I do believe that when y'all sitting up in here talking about that she is going to have a party on the yacht, I believe that's where the party is going to be held, because that's what y'all saying, that that's the rumor. So I do believe that she's going to have the party on the yacht, but when she's in Italy, she's going to visit the monument as it's like going to the zoo or the museum or whatever, like the Louvre in Paris. It's like doing that sort of thing. So I believe that's what that is. And I don't think that would there even be a possibility of like shutting down that whole area to even have a party? So that's why they gagged. It's like, how 33,000 for just, I mean, that's cheap. That's why it's like we need to know all the tea and know what's going on before we start being so quick to jump on, people and start saying all sort of things. So that's what it is. So more than likely she's gonna have a party on the yacht, and she's going in for culture business. So it's probably gonna be like a couple of close friends, her rumored boo, and her kids, and her assistant, whoever else is gonna be there. So that's probably who's gonna be a part of the whole situation. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I said, doesn't guy have like 3 kids with the wife he has? That probably. Yeah, guy wanted her to be a housewife, but everyone knows it's not her. Oh, you say it's euros. I don't be knowing what they call shit over there. It's like 30,000 euros. It's like, yeah, in Italy, that's what they would call it. Not pounds. Pounds is in the UK. What I hear about reincarnation is you're supposed to learn different things in each lifetime you live. Well, I hope we learning some shit in this lifetime. But I think some people are too damn stupid, which is probably why they're going to keep repeating the same damn thing over and over until they learn the lesson. Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about Miss Rihanna. So we went from Madonna to Rihanna. So Rihanna's first album in 8 years is set for release finally. And rumors are swirling that she's also in talks for Glastonbury. The 36-year-old songstress, say that sounds fast, is allegedly preparing for the release of the follow-up to Anti, which came out 8 years ago, according to a well-placed music insider who spoke to The Sun on Monday. Rihanna's region of fans have been clamoring for new music from the hitmaker ever since she released her 8th studio album Anti in 2016, and they could also get a chance to catch her live as she's reportedly set to headline the 2025 edition of Glastonbury in England. So, for those of you not familiar with Glastonbury is basically like Coachella, but way more fun, and they be having like a better lineup, quiet as a skip. So they said since released that album, which scored some of the best reviews of her career, Rihanna has largely focused on running and promoting her successful cosmetics and lingerie companies, as well as devoting time to her romance with the rapper A$AP Rocky and her 2 children that she has with him, by the way. The Lovebirds welcomed a son named RZA in May of 2022, following their other son, Riot Rose, in August of 2023. Saying it's been a running joke how long Rihanna's 9th album has taken to be released, but finally the wait is almost over, the insider said. They claim that Rihanna has recorded songs during featuring loads of different people in the past few years, including with collaborators Alesso and Diplo. So we can, because I was sitting over here thinking, okay, so what type of sound sonically, what are we about to get from Diplo, and what are we about to get from Alesso? Alesso does a lot of house music. So could we be getting like kind of that Ibiza sound of dance music? Because quiet as it's kept, that's who Katy Perry should have worked with instead of some damn Dr. Luke with them dated ass dance tracks. She always got to catch a damn stray when it comes to with us talking about the dance stuff. And Diplo, who knows, we could probably get some Major Lazer ass type stuff, or we could just be getting like, what he gave with Madonna. So I'm imagining that it might be an amalgamation of sounds. And I really do hope, because remember at one point we we're supposed to get the dance hall type stuff. I do hope that she plans on exploring that genre still, but giving a little pop sheen, a little electronic flourishes, that sort of thing, because Rihanna is that crossover artist at this point. And I feel like prior to Anti, she was sort of like she was like a window shopper in regards to music, or a blank canvas. Like she would just, I like that song, I like that song, I like that song, I like that song. They put it on a thing and she'd sing it and sell it, and y'all just be like, whatever. But I feel like Anti, in my opinion, is the album that really showed her artistic creativity, in my opinion. So they said the singer-songwriter had allegedly fitted between multiple genres, or flitted is the word, between multiple genres as she tried to craft her sound, though fans may never end up hearing her aborted experiments. Well, hopefully I do believe that that there is some experimentation on the album, like the root of it. Saying she has gone from pop to reggae to hip hop to everything in between, the source continued. But because she wanted to sound fresh and because of where Rihanna is at her life, practically everything was scrapped. They noted that some of the songs have been reworked and repurposed for the final version of that, what I just said. Because I was like, I'm hoping they still keep the essence of that, because music sonically changes over the years and it evolves. But if you still feel like there's a couple of songs that you're like, there's some potential here, you can rework it in other ways where you can still make it sound fresh and new. So they said songs have been reworked and repurposed for the final version of the album, but the majority was canned completely when she went back to the drawing board earlier this year. Rihanna has been back in the studio for a while, and things are now finally coming together, the insider added on a hopeful note. They noted that Rihanna tends to release her albums towards the end of the year, though it could easily be pushed back into early 2025 due to the slow manufacturing speed for vinyl records, which has increased in popularity significantly in recent years, even as CD purchases have declined. And I think it's probably because vinyl, people want to collect it versus CDs. Y'all ain't making CD players no more, so how the hell are we going to listen to a damn CD? But vinyl, there's still record players, they're vintage, and people like to keep records for the sake of just collect. So that's why it's become a big thing. I mean, I grew up on vinyl, so seeing that the younger generation, particularly Gen Z, is supporting vinyl and discovering it and liking it brings a little smile to my face. So they also said, however, the potentially delayed release date could still work well to set up a world tour that Rihanna is allegedly concocting. In addition, the source claimed that Rihanna is set to headline the influential Glastonbury Festival. Now, either way, 2025 is to be her year with a giant tour in the works with Live Nation, and yes, Glastonbury is back on the table. Because at one point, remember, she was supposed to do Glastonbury, I think in 2023, like last year, but I think she had to leave. She couldn't do it because she was pregnant. Now, Elton John, Guns N' Roses, and Arctic Monkeys later covered the top 3 spots at that year's festival. Rihanna's return to music will follow her partner A$AP Rocky's 4th album, Don't Be Dumb, which will be released on August 30th of this year. He has so far released multiple advanced singles from the LP, including DMB, which I guess is Dumb, Shitting Me, Riot, Rowdy Pipin', and Same Problems. Last month, he released another single as a promo for his debut fashion collection, American Sabotage, that featured vocals by their 2-year-old son, RZA. Meanwhile, one of Rihanna's next big projects is to produce Paramount Animation's The Smurfs movie. They said that she's also going to be in the movie as well, but she's voicing Smurfette. Well, no shade, but hopefully your acting is better than Beyonce in regards to the voiceover department. They said, although it might not tide well over fans' anxiety waiting for her album, she's reportedly writing and recording several new songs for the film's soundtrack. In addition to Rihanna, Smurfs movie will also star Parks and Rec's Nick Offerman, Natasha Lyonne, J.P. Carliak, Dan Levy, Amy Sedaris, Nick Kroll, James Corden, Octavia Spencer, Ted Lasso star Hannah Waddingham, Sandra Oh, Alex Winter, Billy Lord, Xolo Maridueña, Kurt Russell, and John Goodman. Damn, everybody's in that damn movie. But all I have to say on this is, it's about goddamn time Riri. Like, we've been waiting too damn long for this album. It's like, I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, what you're going to plan on giving us sonically with this record. I'm really excited for it. I definitely want to see what you're going to bring. I mean, I would have been like, do people still care about Rihanna in 2025? I do believe that she is. She is up there with, in the words of Whitney Williams, she is a legend. She is an icon. She is the moment. So, and look, Shout out to Charlie XCX, because remember when they was trying to ask her Rihanna versus whoever, she kept going with Rihanna until she got to Sky Ferreira. Then she had to pick Sky. And I am a Sky Ferreira fan. But for the most part, she was like Rihanna, Rihanna, Rihanna. Like Rihanna is that girl. And Rihanna is somebody that Charlie XCX lives for and looks up to. And I think Rihanna has inspired a lot of pop girls to be like, you could do pop but also be edgy and take risks sonically with your music. So I do think there is a hunger for Riri and some new music. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what she's gonna do when she gets to Glastonbury. Hopefully they stream it live on the YouTube. Cause who getting all the way? I can't go all the way over to the UK and see her. I mean, I might have to. Who knows? But I thought this to say, what do y'all think of this story? I really hope that this is true. You know, this is coming from the Sun. So I'm a little like, I don't know. But at the same time, the Sun has been right in a lot of situations in regards to stuff, because they've spilled some tea, especially when we heard some stuff about Kylie Minogue and it turned out to be true. So in regards to like her music and all this other stuff. So I do think that Rihanna is finally giving us a record. I do believe she's been hard at work in the studio. Yes, she's been working on the fashion stuff, but she's got a team that can help put all that together. And I'm not saying that she don't partake in the ideas and stuff, because I do believe that she's very hands-on with her fashion empire and her cosmetics empire. But I also believe that while she's been working on that she's also been in the studio taking time to put music out. And at this point in her career, she don't need to be running all the studios. She can have that in her house. She can bring producers and writers, a team of writers to her, and work on that. It's so easy now to record music. You don't need to be, oh, I have to be in New York and record at Electric Lady Studios, or I need to be in LA at this studio to record an album. You could do that shit and sing into some thing and send it via a file and send it to the people. Kylie Minogue was doing that with the disco era during the pandemic. You know, because I remember one person called it the pandemic and not the pandemic. So that's why I'll be running with that. But anyway, so if y'all are excited or not excited, whatever y'all thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. And so we got a lot of comments. But there, she's going to skin out her old cat. I bet you the album will be a flop because it's so long by the. Oh, you think because it's taking so long that people don't care? And she's got to come out of the gate with like a banger. Like she's really like the visual artwork, the album cover, everything's got to be right. The music video, like she really has to bring it creatively. Even the song she did for Black Panther only had hype for 1 week, and that's because it's like, I think it's maybe it's the current climate, or not only that, but no shade, them songs she did for the Black Panther soundtrack were boring. Let me up. I was like, girl, you about to put me to sleep. And I understand the whole point of Black Panther and everything that was going on, because we celebrating Chadwick Boseman passing away, and they were trying to figure out how to make that whole situation work because he had cancer. But yeah, them songs with Chad, them songs was dry. Drier than Land of Wakanda. So I was like, I don't care. Wait, what is going on? Wait, who is that? Okay, let me get off my watch because I'm getting all these messages. Because it's been, what, 8 years? Yeah, 8 years, Chad. Adrian said he's over Rihanna. That song was just okay. Yeah, I saw Alyssa Milano was going to be Roxy Hart on Broadway. All right, good luck, niece. And it said the last song I really liked from her was Love on the Brain. Yeah, that was on that last album she put out. It said for anybody saying Rihanna will flop, she's still in the top 15 most streamed acts on Spotify and never dips. This isn't a Katy Perry or J-Lo situation. There is a much needed demand. Yeah, I do agree with that. There is a much needed demand for her. Keep popping out babies and makeup. The worst. Adrian is going in on Miss Ray. I was looking for a Brat vinyl yesterday, but they didn't have any. You might have to, I wonder if you have to go on her website and order it and see if they have them. Because it's like, yeah, people trying to get them vinyls. And it's like, you probably, oh, dear, see, I didn't even read Robert's thing, and he said it. He said the vinyl and physicals are only exclusive at Charlie's website. And that's what I was thinking. Like, sometimes I know people want to go to the store and get stuff, but I feel like the only way you really can get like authentic stuff, and I learned this from a friend of mine who was ordering a lot of stuff for Beyonce during the Renaissance Act 1, not Act 2, because a lot of people ain't really quiet as it's kept. I know everybody trying to play up this whole situation, but a lot of people's not feeling Cowboy Carter. I don't care what a lot of people say, but the people I've been speaking to, it's like, y'all sit up here trying to be like, oh yeah, in public, we here for Cowboy Carter, but a lot of y'all wasn't feeling that album. Quiet as it's kept, I don't think Beyonce was either, because she barely promoted it. She just like put it out and disappeared. Some people say it's because of the whole Diddy situation, and the eyes is on Jay-Z. But from what I was learning, it's like, yeah, you got to go on their website and get that stuff. So I was thinking that that's probably where you got to go. Like Drake said, the boyfriend should stick to just dressing. Well, Quiet as it's kept, Drake ain't all that much of a snappy dresser either. Katie did Smurfette's voice for the 2011 Smurfs movie. Her voice irritates me. I do agree with that. The Sun does tell a lot of lies. And it said, I feel like a lot of Rihanna's hype comes from how heavy she leans into electronic music, except for the first 2 albums. All of her albums are European club bangers. Yeah, it wasn't until she did Good Girl Gone Bad that, people finally took to her. And it was just like, that was the perfect moment, because Music of the Sun, no shade, but besides 2 songs on that album, I'm sure y'all can guess which 2 songs it is. The 2 singles, Pon de Replay, and damn, I forgot the other one. Be your girl. You know that song. The rest of the album was just basic. It was like, y'all just had her get in the studio and just sing a bunch of damn leftovers. That's what that album was giving. And so that song is not really, the album's not really all that for me. There's a couple of songs and I'm like, okay, it's cute or whatever, but I don't care. But it wasn't until Good Girl Gone Bad that I was like, okay, sis, you gave me my life with this record. It's only on the BBC website and app, so it's region locked. Well, they're probably going to wait till after everything and then upload it to the eTube. But that's usually what they do with a lot of these shows. It's like, oh yeah, we got to go on the app and watch, so that way they can get the ratings, the credit, all the other stuff. But then we only get it on. Then we have to wait a couple of days, and then we'll get it on YouTube. And she was also in Battleship, which I kind of enjoyed. Speaking of Kylie, the Blessed Madonna track drops 6 p.m. tomorrow night after the BBC Radio 2 premiere. Is she coming out with a new album? Because all these new songs, and I'm glad we're moving on to the next thing. Because I was going to say, you know what? I will say this, although, y'all know I don't particularly care for My Oh My, but I do like the video. And the video, I feel like, elevates the song. It saves it. Because I feel like the song is too short. I cannot stand the over-filterization of Kylie's vocals. I'm like, no human can actually sing like this. But it sounds like she's on helium when she's singing. And then it's like overly filtered. Maybe that was the intent. I don't know. But I'm not feeling the song in that way. And this whole too short shit. It's like you got 3 women on a song that's 3 minutes long. Like, no. Where's the we got the verse, the chorus. We need a bridge. We need something. So I'm definitely looking forward to. I would listen to Blessed Madonna earlier. It was a ballad. They were expecting a banger and a club anthem. It said there was a Brat Target exclusive vinyl, couldn't find it. Oh wait, so they have it at Target, but I wonder if she'll probably put it on her site. Because who got time to be traveling around a bunch of different Targets just to find a vinyl? The way it dipped out fast on the Billboard 200. Okay, was it faster than the 2 Katy Perry singles? Rihanna might be streaming well, but it was her old stuff. Well, yeah, I mean that's all the stuff she put out. She ain't put out nothing new in damn near a decade. Cowboy Carter is still on the top 25. Check the site. I remember SOS was a game changer for her in the state. It damn sure. Yeah, SOS. I think that song came out before Good Girl Gone Bad. Because that's when she started experimenting with like the whole electronic synth pop type sound. And they were like, oh, something clicked here. Let's kind of lean into that more. Because they were trying to figure out what to do with Rihanna. Look, remember hearing the stories that her label wanted her to fail, that they were all about Tierra Marie. That's who they were betting on. But then Rihanna just came out and I guess proved herself or whatever you want to call it. Some people say that she looked her way to the top. We don't know if that's to be true or whatever. But I'll just say her tenacity and her need to prove people wrong got her to where she is. And you remember hearing the story about somebody that worked with her on her team, how Jay-Z wanted to play up this whole thing about them having an affair, which I would have been pissed off about. It's like, oh, you're not going to lie my name, sir. Somebody just sent me a horrible looking picture of Tom Cruise. It's like, well, Rihanna doesn't have any new stuff to compare it to. Battleship was it was, but I liked her. I don't know. She reminded me of Kylie Minogue in Street Fighter when she was Cammy. I think it was a camouflage. That's probably what it was. So it was like part of the reason SOS is probably because of the Tainted Love sample. Yeah, anybody could pretty much sample that track and it'd probably be a hit if it's used right now. If y'all do some Chloe Bailey Gunna type shit like y'all did with that They Don't Know sample, then it's like, ooh, it's a mess. But you can't mess up a soft cell sample. Like, how could you? I'd be mad if somebody did that. Tension Special 2 Special 2 edition. Special 2 CD edition is coming out on August 23rd, according to Amazon and Target. So is that what all the so then it must be new songs that they're adding to Tension. Music of the Song was Rihanna's Can't Take Me Home. You know what? That's a good analogy. And so I was 7, but bitch, you were 7 months old when Rihanna dropped her new album. I mean, her debut album. I cannot. I got infants in the damn chat. These are August music of the Sun, April 6th, A Girl Like Me. And that led to Good Girl. Yeah, because I didn't care for A Girl Like Me. I didn't care for Music of the Sun. But it was Good Girl Gone Bad was like, okay, you cooking with gas. And I feel like she was giving, like, bitch, if you don't hit it out the park with this album, you about to be dropped. Like a ballroom queen doing a dip. Cat, 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 cat. Ow. She really performs her first 2 albums. They've been pink. Yeah, it was like, we don't want to hear it. She know the albums was bad or wasn't really like her. So you're gonna perform the album that really blew you out of the park, and that was album number 3. And you know what? I love the fact that in certain situations, because they didn't always do this back in the day, when you give people a chance to really develop and grow and find your groove before y'all be quick. Because they be like one album drop them, whatever. But I guess because she had a couple of bops on that day on the first 2 albums, they were like, okay, but it seemed like with Good Girl Gone Bad, it's like she came out the gate. It was like the video, the overall fashions, you know, all the visual art, everything was just working. Clearly, Adrian is not a fan. Saying she's no longer the moment. But anyway, let's move on to somebody who isn't the moment. Let's talk about Tamar Braxton, because she's out here being a hot ass mess. So Tamar Braxton's recent social media outburst has left fans with more questions than answers. So in a series of tweets, Braxton reveals that she's single and sad. So let me pull up this thing courtesy of the Jasmine brand, because she went and deactivated all her tweets, and I was leaving stuff open because I was like, I don't need shit to start disappearing. And that's what I be having to do sometimes when some of these are celebrities be posting stuff, throwing the rock to hide their hand, then they want to delete things because they don't want any more of the social media clapback stuff. Like, just stay off Instagram. You can disable the comments on Instagram, but on Twitter, I feel like, I don't know what the ways around that. First of all, everybody knows that Twitter is toxic as hell. But anyway, so, you know, the Jasmine brand posted these series of tweets, so shout out to them. So she said, JR means the world to me. Thank God for him. My husband and my children have saved my life, but I'm so mad at my life. My family is toxic. I should have never went back to Braxton Family Values. Never. Well, first of all, they call the show The Braxton. It's not even called The Braxton Family Values anymore. She don't know what show she on. Now, in another series, in another tweet she wrote, y'all, I'm going through it. I'm single and sad, and it's TV shit is a lot. Y'all have no idea, none. The gaslighting is crazy, and I'm going back into treatment. OMG, I just pray that my marriage can be saved and my life can be spared. My family is awful. Well, first of all, who knew that she was married to Colonel Sanders? I didn't know that she and JR tied the knot. So this is news to us. We didn't even see him in the first episode. The first episode, because I did watch it, Basically was like us seeing all the family getting back together. Mama Evelyn was there and the daughters. They basically got back together. They were, catching up on things. Tony revealed some stuff about her heart, that she had to get a surgery on some type of thing. I forget what she said, a stem or something or another she had to get put in her heart. Otherwise, she would have had a heart attack and not been on this earth with us. And she said that she believes that Tracy was that guardian angel that told her to get whatever procedure she needed to get done. So, and then we see like Tony break down at one point. And then we see like Tawanda has alopecia. I believe she got alopecia quiet as it's kept more than Jada Pinkett. I think Jada Pinkett out here pretending. But she says she got the peachy. She got the peachy. So we revealed, Tawanda reveals she had alopecia. And then at the end, we see that they get group therapy and stuff. And they start basically talking about Tracy and how, she had the cancer. We seen video of her when she was sick and that sort of thing. And then all that other stuff. So I was sitting there I'm like, why all of a sudden is Tamar going on this whole tirade on Twitter? I'm thinking, and then I started thinking back on it. So back when they were doing Braxton Family Values, I think the fans were going in and saying like, oh, y'all all of a sudden now, because Tracy not here no more, now all of a sudden it's, we miss her and it was this and it was that, but y'all were treating her like shit when she was alive. That was according to the fans. But my situation is this. Y'all don't necessarily know the extent of what people was going through behind the scenes of the show or when the cameras weren't rolling. So people are going to pretty much just draw their own conclusion and say things. She also went and said, I think it's funny when I post something negative, it goes viral. When I post something positive, no one pays attention. Y'all prove me right on what y'all want from me. Why can't I be healthy and healed? Y'all was waiting for my life to fall apart. At Jeremy Robinson, CEO, is and has been the most positive person in my life and my best friend and family. And y'all want me to say something bad about him so bad. But post my #1 singles and my new album with Tricky Stewart and bringing the network back from the dead. This is terrible. So this is what she's out here saying so far. So then, speaking of Tawanda, she shared a quote from her Instagram story suggesting that those who are the loudest often haven't evolved. So she posted, those who haven't evolved have the loudest mouth and the most to say. Wisdom and maturity is silent. And so for textile purposes, I want to show y'all that post which she put here. So that was what Tawanda posted about her sister. So now fans also took to social media air their grievances over Tamar's gaslighting. One person said, I think everyone is just sick of Tamar's pity party tweets, always craving attention. Girl, you 45 years old. Well, actually, she's 47 years old. Deal with your issues at home and no one social media. I don't know what that last part meant, but okay. Oh, I think it said, and not on social media. I think that's what they meant. Another person tweeted, Tamar is insufferable for real. Another person posted, no grown person at her big age, not her big age, child, should need this much attention. Bless her family. We exhausted. I know they are too. Another person posted, she's exhausted. He don't even say anything in defense. Embarrassing, says, go to the studio. Well, here's the thing. Tamar is a grown ass woman. She has a mind of her own. Why does JR got to come out here and defend her with what's going on in social media? Now, if there's a requirement for him to do that, if she gives him the permission to be like, yeah, go ahead and say whatever, then he should. But Tamar is an adult. She can defend herself on social media for whatever the situation is. Now, another person, Mr. Ray, tweeted, Mama needs to figure out which strand of weed is her ministry and just relax. Y'all know Mr. Ray. I mean, he be in everybody comment. He be on the Jasmine brand. He be on Neighborhood Talk. Another person posted, she needs to decide what she needs more, peace or attention. Another person posted, I really like Tamar, but she needs to stay in therapy. It's constant work. Another person posted, crying over a man that would have sold you in a different era is diabolical. Bitch, I am fucking done. I know they did not say that. We got to read that again. She said, crying over a man that would have sold you in a different era is diabolical. Like, I'm just like sitting with that. I can't. Now, another person posted, because we're going to wrap this up. Is she married or is she single? I'm lost. You ain't the only one, because I'm sitting there like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, she on social media rambling, disable her social media. And I honestly have no idea if she married JR. When the fuck did that happen? We know y'all got engaged, I believe around Christmas Eve or day or around that time, sometime in December. I don't remember. I can't keep track of all these people and their engagements and things. So she talking about that's her husband. Okay, niece. But I am wondering, are you married or are you single? Child, somebody said her and Tyree should date. But I say all this to say, you know what? Sometimes I be wondering. I'm like, look, I understand that she had suicidal thoughts in 2020. There was a lot of drama that was going on with Braxton family values. And my thing is this. I don't care how much money you throw in my direction. If I went on a whole tirade a couple of years ago and said that the network that I was working on is a toxic work environment, I would not sign on to be a part of the same environment that I deem toxic. Why would I go back to WeTV if all these things that was going on behind the scenes affected my mental health? Because that's the thing you got to realize when you go on a lot of these reality shows. Now, here's the thing. The one thing I love about the Braxtons is the fact that they are the Kardashians with talent. That's what I always say. And I can't relate to none of them hoes out in Calabasas. But I can relate to a lot of the stuff that's going on with Braxton family values. So that's why I live for it. And the fact that they turn everything into a little song. Like, they be having their moments, they cackle, they sing together. And then, particularly one of my favorites they always do is Tamar's Always Late. How they sing that. That always is a cackle for me. But and then they have they back and forth bickering and cackle, they fight and all this other stuff. But that's what family does. And so I can relate to a lot of it in that way. And seeing a black family portrayed on TV, warts and all, is good. But at a certain point, Tamar says, you pushing 50. Like, at some point, you got to be able to accept responsibility in the things you do as well, and not always try to make it seem like your family is toxic, they're a mess, this was a problem. But Colonel Sanders, or basically who he give is Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained, is your Lord, your full savior, the man that you love and is keeping your mind right and all this other stuff. I saw the interview he gave with Carlos King. It was cute or whatever. But it was nothing to write home about. So, Tamar, it's no shade, but you are addicted. You like the attention. You like all the drama. You like when people keep their name in your mouth and all this other stuff. So, girl, at some point, you got to be able to take responsibility for the things you do as well. I don't even know where all this is stemming from, because I'm like, she was the least melodramatic or the least problematic on that first episode. The first episode wasn't really nothing crazy that was happening in the episode. It was basically like they all getting together and they were reminiscing about Tracy and they were eating and having, Kiki and all those other stuff. So it wasn't really nothing too crazy that popped in the episode, unless there was 2 episodes and I missed another one. So I don't know. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think it is? Are y'all tired of Tamar shenanigans? I know it seems like a lot of people on social media are. Or what did y'all even think of the first episode of the Braxton, the Braxtons? Because I was glad to see them back on TV, because I used to live for the Braxton family values. So I was relatively excited to see them back on my TV. And I watched the first episode yesterday and it gave me my life. So let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now we have Robert said the way she gaslit us all. Clearly, y'all need a show. And your sister, Grammy-winning legend Tony was it Tony V. Braxton, Grammy winner? But it's like, yeah, it does go to show. First of all, reality TV pays good coin. And then there's so many opportunities that come from reality TV. So I know that they had there's no shade. I really can't think of any other show that's on WeTV. What other show was on there? One of my friends was surprised. He didn't even know this. And I told him the other day, I was like, T.S. Madison had her own reality show on WeTV. He's like, she did? I was like, yeah, she had a show. 1 season. And it was good. But I was like, she was the first Black trans woman to have her own reality show. She wasn't the first trans woman, because the first one was Jazz Jennings. I think I Am Jazz is still on. But T.S. Madison had a show. It lasted one season. That should have lasted more seasons, though, because it was a good show. He said Good Girl Gone Bad had 5 singles. Tamar's always in some drama. I wish she was a little more private, like who you telling? That's why I said you put all your stuff on social media, and then you get mad when people respond. It's like if you didn't let people know about it, people wouldn't be talking. I can understand like people reacting to what they're seeing in a reality show, but I don't go and sit and at somebody and call them derogatory names and throw shade. Like, to me, there's no point in that. I'm not gonna be like, Tamar, you a piece of shit because of what you did. And so, like, why are you involving yourself in their family business? I'm gonna watch it and be entertained and give my opinion. I guess because not everybody has a show and they can't do it the way I do it. But for the most part, like in a recap or mentioning it on a topic or whatever, because I don't like doing TV show recap stuff. Like, there's other people that do that way better. I'll give my opinion on it in passing, but for the most part, it's like I don't be doing that whole reality TV stuff. Like commentary thing. There's people who do that way better. And then she's pulling a Donald J. Trump playing victim and blaming everybody else. Okay, so Tamar is a genius at getting social media attention. I don't trust nothing she said. Well, he said nothing. I put a little stank on it. And that she needs to be less in the public eye, in my opinion. She puts herself in these environments and sets herself up to like a miserable person with nothing going on personally. Okay. You need to be working on that album. Did she say she got a new album coming out with Tricky Stewart? Well, I guess not The Dream, because The Dream was accused of an SA. So I don't know. People ain't messing with The Dream right now. I think that was another one that why Beyonce went into hiding. Diddy and The Dream. Remember that story? Whatever happened to that story? We talked about that a couple of months ago with The Dream allegedly getting caught up in a SA type of situation. Nobody's talking about that. Black social media is not talking about it. Or black, the black blogs, black social media. I may need to look into that. See if there's any update. That and the Austin Wolf situation. I gotta look into that. If that case happened, I don't remember. I know it's this month, but I gotta look it up and see when that next court date is. But she doesn't really have anything going on, I don't think. I know she did the Surreal Life last time. She's she's not on that show. I was like, is she on College Hill? Or was that last season? I know Claudia Jordan is on College Hill. It said the poster for the Saturday Night Live movie just dropped. Check discussing for me. I'll do that after the show. That's why I watched T.S. Madison show. I know Oliver Twist. Well, I'm aware of him. I don't know him, but I'm aware of him. But Oliver became known for doing interviews with a lot of contestants from America's Next Top Model. What's happening with that's a good question. Oh, that's funny. It's like greater minds, right? You said, what's happening? You said it as I was typing it. I was like, yeah. I was like, I've been looking at that in the Austin Wolf situation. It's funny, it popped in my head. So it's like, I think I'll be pulling things in from the universe like I'm Sylvia Brown. Remember her? The Sylvia Brown who used to always go on the Montel Williams show and be, having her little psychic medium moments. I used to live for her. She was my Miss Cleo. Man, anyway, let's move on. Let's go from WeTV over to Bravo because Andy Cohen is trying to postpone this little legal situation with Miss Leah McSweeney because he's asking a judge. Oh my God, I'm forgetting to do a lot of things today. He's asking a judge to press pause on this whole case with Miss Leah McSweeney. So Bravo exec Andy Cohen wants a judge to watch what happens live with his motion to dismiss appeal. But very clever radar online. Before former Real Housewives of New York's Leah McSweeney case against him is heard. Now, Cohen, who's 56, sent a letter asking a judge to halt gathering any evidence in the ongoing saga, stating McSweeney's complaint has 8 defendants, over 34 witnesses, and is exceedingly lengthy and far-reaching. Well, sir, you got a lot of money. Why don't you have your people get on it so that way they can know how to prepare this case? Of what you feeling? Hold on. I was supposed to have the picture, and I didn't. So he wants them to halt gathering evidence because she has 8 defendants over 34 witnesses and is exceedingly lengthy and far-reaching. So I'm confused. So this said the television host argued that for a halt in the suit until his motion to dismiss is heard, saying any discovery sought will be broad and require extensive responses. The motion also stated while plaintiff attempts to overwhelm with a 754 paragraph complaint, well, at least it's shorter than that damn Project 2025. Even a cursory review of her allegations reveals that many concern matters entirely irrelevant to her claims, and most are devoid of any factual or legal support, speculative, misleading, and or demonstrably false. So then why don't you let the thing go to trial and let your lawyers, since you got so much damn money, probably more than Leah, because you have a whole network behind you, then go, tear down her allegations. If you have a way of possibly winning your case, let it be heard. Cohen argued in his letter obtained by People that doing so will further the interests of efficiency and conservation of judicial resources. He also claimed McSweeney, who's 41, only seeks money damages and therefore would not be prejudiced by a stay. As previously reported, McSweeney filed a federal lawsuit against Cohen, Warner Brothers, Discovery, Shed Media, Bravo Media, and NBC Universal, claiming Cohen tormented, demoralized, demeaned, harassed, and retaliated against her because she is a woman with disabilities such as alcohol use disorder and various mental health disorders, all in the name of selling drama. Which, child, I was hearing this tea. One of my very high sources who told me a lot of stuff, including a big secret, and I'm not revealing on it because they, and I have to be vague with the gender, swore to me to not mention this, but it's about Teresa, and I can't say what it is. We'll probably save it for the podcast. The other podcast I'm going to start working on. But anyway, so they told me some stuff about Andy too, that allegedly there was some quid pro quo type tease that was going on with him. And Fire Island was involved and a whole bunch of other stuff. Allegedly. With people getting on his show and stuff. Her suit claims that producers pressured her into drink despite knowing of her alcohol addiction, failed to get her help, and failed to provide reasonable accommodations, such as allowing plaintiff to attend AA meetings, tormenting Sweeney on the basis of her disability, such as colluding with other cast members to taunt Sweeney regarding her sobriety, failing to advance plaintiff due to her mental health diagnosis, and ultimately discharging plaintiff due to her mental health diagnosis. So they also went on to say that Sweeney also claimed that she was not cast on RHONY season 14 and RHONY Legacy due to her disability, including Sweeney's failure to relapse into her alcohol use disorder. The reality star in the hostile said the hostile work environment significantly altered the terms of her employment, caused Sweeney to suffer suicide ideations, caused Sweeney to become institutionalized in a psychiatric facility, and has continued to cause ongoing mental pain and suffering. Now, Cohen, I should say, has denied the allegations and said that all of what she's saying is categorically false. Now, here's the thing. Now, I know some people probably be like, girl, nobody put a gun in your head and told you to drink the alcohol. Like, the alcohol is an option. It's there. You got to take it or you don't. There are some people who are on the show that don't drink, and some people will probably use that as an argument. But Leah is not all these other cast members. Everybody is their own individual self. There was even a whole period of last year that we know of that Kyle was like, I'm not drinking any alcohol on Beverly Hills. She didn't put any alcohol in her system. She's been on this whole clean streak for the past two years, according to her. It might be longer now since the show has ended, and they're currently filming the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But then again, I'm wondering, because I'm not familiar if they do. I believe they just started doing this, but I was like, did they ever formulate psych tests when they cast people, or do y'all just do like a whole casting thing, or how they do with Drag Race, where it's like recommendations, where it's like, oh, she was recommended, so we're going to give her an opportunity based off of who she's friends with to give her an opportunity to be on this show. But I do believe that every show, y'all need to be vetting these people you putting on there, because while they do make good TV, and yes, we will say that there are producers who do push the envelope a little bit just to get a rise out of people. They'll set up a scenario and be like, well, so-and-so says, like, for an example, oh, Ramona said some shit about your mama. What you mean? He said some shit about my mother. And then it's like you start up a whole situation just to get a rise out of you. Or they would find out something that was a deep dark secret and they would bring it up like so and so said this or whatever, because you got to create conflict with the cast members. So do I think there might have been some shadiness going on behind the scenes? Perhaps. And if Leah has a way of proving all of this, then she's probably dotted all her I's, across all her T's, and I feel like that she should be heard in court. And Andy, with all this coins you got, and quiet as it's kept, the tea I was hearing from a very reliable source, the same source that told me some tea that I wound up writing years ago that maybe a lot of people don't know about, is that I wrote this breaking story on James Franco at a book signing, and it was like full behind the scenes tea. And bitch, when I tell you that story went bonkers through the roof, viral, whatever you want to call it, it was like, this is the same source that I was talking to about some stuff regarding the thing. And I be feeling like, yeah, there's some shiciness, some shadiness going on behind the scenes at Bravo and the way they be handling things. And I understand that, these shows, y'all want to get the drama, you want to get the crazy things out of these people. But I do feel like that a lot of times y'all set a lot of these stars up because y'all want that moment for TV. Y'all want that viral moment. You want the ratings, you have to feed the beast. And then when that bottom hits, you kick them to the curb. We've seen it happen so many times. Nene Leakes, so many other people on top of that. And Kenya Moore recently. We're about to get in the story talking about her after this one. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? And you know what? There was a lot of stuff that was coming out about, that Bravo is swarming in lawsuits. There's a lot of lawsuits that's circling that network with all the stuff going behind the scenes. Oh, excuse me. And speaking of which, what's going on with this reality TV reckoning with Bethany? Like, Bethany was on this whole reality TV reckoning. Miley was good. Like, what's going on with that? I want to know what's the tea. So you had everybody all riled up and excited about this whole reality TV reckoning. And I feel like you was probably doing all this for attending for show, or maybe something happened where you had to let it go. Let it go, let it go. So I don't know. But I was going to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all believe Leah in this situation? Do y'all think Andy is messy and toxic and all these other things, and probably is caught up in a lot of stuff going on? And I've always said this, and it's funny because the person that I was talking to said this, and I'm like, I'm so glad you said the same thing I've been saying for the years, which was Andy has a habit of being too close to these damn people on that show. That's the problem. You have not set boundaries in regards of, you are the boss. You're the one that basically makes the most money from Watch What Happens Live, whatever. And that like 12 people watch. And then The Housewives, that's where he gets the EP credit. That's basically the show that he's developed. That's his baby that he's been nurturing for over 15 years. Almost 2 decades, I should say, to be on the safe side. Because I think OC is in their 17th season right now. So, he has not set up boundaries when it comes to people. Like, they be having his number, he be texting them, you invite them to your baby shop. Like, these are not your friends. These should be your employees. So it's like, when it comes to, I gotta chop a bitch, then it's like, no hard feelings. This is business. So he never set up boundaries with that. And I did, and the person I was talking to said this. They were like, oh, he's too close with them. And I said, thank you, Jesus, because I be feeling like I'm the only one that people think I hear is crazy when I said I've been saying that for years. He's too damn close to these people. You need to pull a boundary like RuPaul do with them Drag Race girls, where it's like, oh yeah, y'all good for the television and I live for y'all and money, success, fame, glamour, yay, and all that good stuff. But you over there on the other side of that pink table, and I'm gonna stand here, and that's where the boundary is. Like, we can't be Kiki sisters outside the show, because then people gonna think favoritism and all this other stuff. So I'd rather you think I'm a cold bitch than, somebody where you're going to make all these accusations about me and put me in litigation. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Oh, hey, Lindsay girl. Excuse me. Hey, Lindsay girl. How you doing? My friend Zorian. Not Dorian, Zorian. That sounds like Like a homosexual would say Azorian. Or remember, what was the character that they said in the living single? Sabuda. Oh, so you went and hit up your film and you was finding out the drag. Oh, he said the drag scene is diverse. So I guess there is room for, excuse me, a drag race India. But I wonder who's the RuPaul of drag out there. Get them to host. He said I'll send you what he sent me after. Oh, okay, because I'm definitely curious about seeing what that scene is. I said I don't blame him. I'm not paying for more if I don't have to, and I'm not arguing anything that's got nothing to do with the lawsuit. Okay, so she probably just Leah out here grasping at straws because she, trying to blame um Bravo for her situation. But I'm like, ma'am, you are grown, and everybody knows that um you all have a decision. I mean, you all have a choice of whether or not you want to drink or not. First of all, I told y'all, or maybe some of y'all don't know, I actually was on an episode of Real Housewives of New York. I don't know if Leah was there, but that was during the Tinsley season, because when I told you I was in the circus, she was in the episode where she was the ringmaster, and it was the Sin and the Clowns episode. I don't remember what season it was, probably season 11. And I am in the scene because I had to sign. First of all, they said to us, they were like, well, they said to me because they were in my section, the whole cast, which I always liked the fact that I got the section with all the celebrities because I had the good spot. So I was liking the fact that that's also where I met Bruce Willis. I actually met him a second time. Liam Neeson was there, a bunch of celebrities, but we shot an episode of. They actually shot 2 days or of that, but they only did 1 day of the full ringmaster thing because she had to come and do rehearsal. But anyway, so we did the first when they did that and they shot that episode or whatever the case was. My scene basically was one of the producers came to me, was like, oh, can you bring the alcohol and stuff down to the women? It was like wine in a glass or whatever, and so I brought down a tray with the drinks, whatever. Tinsley's mother was lovely. I gave it to all the women, and it's like, you can either drink it or you don't. Nobody puts a gun to your head and tells you to drink. And then afterwards, because I knew if I said no, I know what's going on. I knew I was on camera. And so I was like, because I thought about it before it happened. So when it came up, they asked me to sign the paperwork and all this other stuff. So you were just on camera. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to sign it. They'll blur me out. But if you want to be on camera, you have to sign the paperwork giving them permission. So I knew, I was like, bitch, I'm not going to have my face all blurred out. I am ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. So I was in that scene. But anyway, so they said she must have also had a lawyer read over the contract and could have put certain things into the contract. Okay. Well, it's like, do y'all not read the stuff that y'all be signing? It's like, emotional stress. I'm an alcoholic and I'm drinking. I mean, didn't she mention on the show many a times that she had issues with alcohol? Like, nobody's literally was like, put a gun on her and said, bitch, drink this. Like, I don't think that's what really happened. I was trying to play devil, I was trying to play it all saintly and devil's advocate and all the other stuff. But I'm glad y'all in here saying what needs to be said. That's why I be leaving it up to y'all. What y'all think? He said Bravo is known to let go of people who are alcoholics. Example. Well, that is true. Because Kim Richards was a mess. And because they didn't want to be held liable. And yeah, Dorinda, make it nice, medley. But she's still thinking that she's on a break. Girl, you on a break forever. So many people are now on Twitter saying after Janet revealed her family tree has Tracy Chapman, Samuel L. Jackson, and Stevie Wonder on BBC interview, it's leading Jackson, the Knowles are gatekeepers. What are you talking about, Jay-Z? Well, look, didn't 50 Cent mention that Jay-Z and them out here gatekeeping, trying to be like who they want to have in and come out and all this other mess. They used to black music and entertainers. I do believe it, and that's why 50 Cent said what he said about Jay-Z and put that horrible ass picture of him up. I said he's so damn shady. I said you can gatekeep a lot of things, but you ain't gonna gatekeep what I'm doing, because you could never be doing what I'm doing over here in regards of like building the movie studio and having all of that. Lindsay says Leah was given a chance with Ultimate Girls Trip and she was horrible there. Minute she was going to AA and had a few times there. Oh, so she ain't got no case then. So it just, you know what? It said, you wish I can call it. Well, you know what? We need to do like a situation where I can invite you on because with StreamYard, I can invite a co-host to come on and do the show. So we need to keep behind the scenes and set up a situation where you can come on in your full drag regalia and we do a show together in regards of like the, spilling the tea. And said actually he's not fully involved in the filming. He watched, yeah, because I was noticing like he really doesn't have any idea what'll be going on. He's involved. Wait, you said he's involved when they call him? It said Brad Summer has been accused by the Prince estate of ripping. Chill. Even in death, Prince is fucking annoying. Like, shut up. His estate is tired. Y'all fucking up Netflix with their whole situation putting out this series. Now y'all talking about she ripping off the Purple Rain aesthetic and artwork from 40 years ago. And might take Charlie and her artwork design to court. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so what artwork? Because I don't recall what you talking about the font on Brad. First of all, that don't even look shit like Purple Rain. If that's what they talk about, like, come on. And now talk about reaching. We talking about Leah McSweeney's reaching. They're reaching. Child, I read your comment, Roro. I'm gonna get to it in a second, but good luck because Aerosmith, Metallica, and others did it. I guess it's because Purple Rain isn't having its moment like Thriller did. Well, and I live for Prince, but Prince was a bigger damn queen than some of the gays I know. And he supposed to have been heterosexual, but he was acting more like a bitch than anything. And I do live for Prince. I live for his music. He's an icon and all that other stuff. But some of the things that he was so shady. And I feel like his people that are running his estate are shadier. It's like, stop reaching with this bullshit. And Madonna is about to have it like a virgin 40. Everybody's having a 40-year situation. Because I'm like, child, first of all, her whole aesthetic has nothing to do with Prince. I have not heard one person talking about this whole, and even dissecting this whole Brat era, make any kind of reference to Prince in any way. Font, aesthetic, music, none of it. So all of a sudden, y'all pulling this out your ass. Now this is a damn reach. I hope you got a good chiropractor for how hard y'all reaching over there. And she another dumb bitch. That's why she an August Virgo, not a September one, because we don't do that dumbness. We don't go back with our exes. It's like we leave it. We call y'all exes for a reason. We keep y'all where? Back there. In the words of my girl Vivica Fox. Said, but sadly, Madonna doesn't include new things on her album re-releases. Like the vinyl for Like a Prayer isn't gonna have anything new on it. Are you talking about the one that they did for Deadpool and Wolverine? Because I do like them two versions, and I'm glad she finally released them. But I think she released it in EP form. But anyway, let's move on and go from Real Housewives of New York, and let's take a little trip over to Atlanta and talk about Marc Daly throwing shade at Andy Cohen. Now, Andy Cohen getting it from everybody today. So Kenya Moore's ex-husband, Marc Daly, who all of a sudden decided to wake up, is he on a delay? Because it's funny, like, post-divorce, you got a lot to say coming to your wife's defense. He windmilling for her, but you ain't did the shit during your marriage. That took y'all forever to get a divorce from. But I digress. So the SoCal restaurant owner who finalized the divorce from Moore in December of 2023 took the IG Live to share how his experience was on the Bravo show. Now, we do have a clip courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk. So we're going to play that clip and then we'll come back. Please hold.
Everyone I met through that experience was great, except for you know who. The producers. Mr. Cohen, the snake in chief. You guys know that, right? See how they did Kenya dirty? And you know what's funny? Everyone said, oh, Marc, you this, Marc, you that. You know what? If I was there, it would never had that crazy. A husband sometimes got to stand up and the same way a wife has to protect the husband if he's going off the rails. I would have never let that happen. You always said, oh, he's bossing him around, but she still would have got a check. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just life. Everyone I met through that experience was great, except for you know who. The producers, Mr. Cohen.
Okay, so he said what he said there, and I find it funny that all of a sudden now, Marc is coming out and spilling tea. I'm like, sir, where the hell have you been all this time? He's talking about that he need to come out and, a man need to protect his woman and stuff. But it didn't seem like you was doing all of that when you were on the show. Let me go back to the old one. Because I had two of them open just in case. So, his comments come 2 months after Page 6 revealed that Moore, 53, was suspended indefinitely for sharing photos of series newcomer Brittany Eady allegedly giving another man a baloney wash. Now, cameras were rolling at her Kenya Moore hair spa grand opening when the Mama One decided to unveil the explicit images to the castmates. Due to the nature of the incident, an investigation was launched and Moore is no longer allowed to film any more of season 16. Now, here's the tea. I will be pissed off if y'all don't include this in the show because I feel like y'all need to include all the mess. We want to know what happened and see why y'all decided to fire her because it's not going to be, oh, yeah, let's just erase Kenya from the entire series because y'all had to pay her for her time. So I really hope that y'all keep her in there and then they put like in the black background with the white font. It's like, well, due to Kenya's behavior, she has been fired from the show. Like, all the dramatics in there because if it's supposed to be a reality show, that's what we want to see. Like, we need all of that. So don't sit up here and try to be like, oh, we're not going to address the elephant in the room. We're not going to have Kenya be a part of the situation. We're going to act like she was never part of the season because quiet as it's kept. This is why I'm glad that y'all got Sheree back. Well, not Sheree. Y'all got Phaedra back because Portia cannot carry that show on her own. Portia is not that girl that is like a central character that can carry a show by herself. So you needed to have all these other people that's up in there. Now, after the scandal surfaced, the former Miss USA took to her IG stories with a cryptic message which read, "Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. The truth always comes to light." She then tweeted that she would never engage in our revenge P, adding, "I have never distributed private images or footage of anyone, nor solicited images owned by others to use to threaten or blackmail. I've always been vindicated. I can't talk about story even with the people planting fake news. Hashtag Sweet 16. Edie also spoke out, writing on her IG story that it's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed by someone I thought would embrace me in a new circle that I never met. The card-couraged CEO also denied reports that she threatened Moore with a gun. After the suspension decision was made, Moore threw shade at Toxic Bravo while sharing pictures from her and daughter's Brooklyn's vacation. "My life is blessed. Myself and my daughter will continue to thrive in a non-toxic environment where we feel appreciated and most importantly protected." This is what she wrote on IG. "Thank you, God, for covering us." Now, since she was let go from filming, the network did rehire Phaedra Parks, who was fired from RHOA after admitting during season 9 reunion in 2017 that she had spread a rumor that co-star Candy wanted to drug and sexually assault Portia Williams. Now, here's the gag. So, the hypocrisy of it all. So how you go, and I totally did not put two and two together until now. So you fire Kenya for distributing Revenge P and showing a woman with a meat popsicle in her mouth to embarrass her. But you hire someone to come back on the show who spread a whole rumor and threatened to destroy Candy's reputation by saying that her and Todd tried to SA Portia. Make it make sense. I don't understand how that's okay. Now, Phaedra is good TV. I don't understand why she was on Married to Medicine. She ain't married, nor was she married to Medicine. So I don't understand why she was on there, and I'm looking forward to this upcoming season because all the stuff I've been hearing behind the scenes of what's going on with Married to Medicine is going to be a mess this season, especially the tea that was going on with the whole thing regarding Apollo and his current wife, and the current wife almost getting into it with Phaedra. So I'm actually looking forward to that, but it don't make sense to me. Like, Bravo, where's the line? Where's the bottom line with all of that? Like, you can't sit up here and just act like they innocent and a whole lot of stuff. Hence why I heard from my source there's so many lawsuits going on behind the scenes. Like, y'all create these environments where y'all tell these reality stars, push the envelope. You need to do this. You need to do that. And Kenya was bringing it. She had the fan, Gone with the Fabulous. Then she had the Scepter, which caused her to get her ass beat. She got dragged literally by Portia during the reunion. We saw the altercation. But again, also, Portia's on the show. Portia put paws on multiple people throughout the seasons. They don't like all that physical stuff. Although I did live for when Danielle Cabral socked Jen Aiden with that cup. I still live for that. But I don't understand, because that was the cackle of all cackles, and that damn finale was everything too. Although there was a lot of boring episodes in between, but that finale was everything, Chad. But we're just not about Jersey. Let's go back to Atlanta. So it's just like, where is the line? Because it's like, y'all prop these people to come up and provide the mess and really push the envelope to find ways of, oh, what can I do to make this episode more spicy? Because for the past year, couple of seasons, quiet as it's kept, Roe has been boring. Roa girls have not been bringing it. So now this is the thing, because y'all been so caught up in lawsuits that y'all don't want another one on y'all hands. But it's okay for Phaedra to be there after she came up with a whole lie. And I know, Chell, from what I heard, that Miss Candy was fired from the show, but they let her give the whole "I'm quitting and leaving the show" speech. And this is from my reliable source, who knows a lot of people behind the scenes at Bravo. So I'll say, listen, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think it's fair? I mean, even though I know a lot of people and some in the chat are not Kenya Moore fans, are y'all calling hypocrisy on this whole situation? Do you think that Kenya should have been given the opportunity to finish out her season, to explain, she should have been reprimanded, maybe taken from a couple of episodes or whatever, and given the opportunity to finish out her season? Do you think Bravo made the right call by firing her? And do you think it's fair that they fired her and then brought back Phaedra, even though Phaedra, didn't show revenge pee or any kind of particles from somebody? She did spread a rumor that could have destroyed Candy's career based off of you needing a storyline or whatever the case was. I don't know why she did it, but she did it. But let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. As I heard Felix might be waiting for the 3 Universal albums to join them in 2025. Oh, you talking about Madonna? Okay, so now let's move on and let's talk about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, because they're going through it. They're playing the blame game, because Angelina's been out and about. We didn't see her in a long time. She had them ugly ass white shoes on that I seen her with, but she was at the airport. But and then we talked about the other day how Brad has been concerned about Pax, who was in the hospital. He was in the ICU. I don't know if he's still in the hospital. He was removed from the ICU in his own, room in the hospital, or he was taken home and he's resting, and he's got a long road to recovery because this boy likes running around on e-bikes without a damn helmet, and he's gotten into numerous accidents. So I was wondering, because I had said it for a while, okay, so what does Brad think of all this? Is he going through it? Is he stressed? Is he worried? All the other stuff. Come to find out, a source did say that, yeah, he is worried, but because of his strained relationship with a lot of his kids, all the ones except the ones he had biologically with Angelina, it seemed like he's fighting with all the adopted children. Particularly, Pax called him a grade A asshole or something or another on his birthday, on Brad's birthday. So he's going through it with it. And to me, and from this whole situation, it feels like this is a case of a child who is affected by the tumultuous relationship that the parents are having, and it's affecting him. And I've seen that happen many a times in real life. Luckily, I come from a home of my parents are still together after 40 plus years. They're still together. So, but I do know people who are products of divorce, and how, if you're a product of divorce, how that affects you as a kid. And I feel like the parents should have been getting the kids in therapy. First of all, Hannaford better get her children, them twins, in some damn therapy. All of them, hopscotch, and she be doing with her relationships. Because I'm sure Max and Emmy are going to be going through it too, just like Pax and the rest of the other kids. So it says Angelina and, well, I'll call them Brangelina. Brangelina, like we had Bennifer. Brangelina are reportedly playing the blame game after son Pax Jolie Pitt's, say that 10 times fast, e-bike accident. Feuding exes, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are locked in a twisted new blame game after their 20-year-old son, Pax Jolie Pitt, was hospitalized with head injuries after a terrifying near-fatal accident, sources are telling Radar Online. Pax narrowly avoided death after crashing his electric bike into the back of a car stopped at a busy intersection on the Los Feliz neighborhood of Los Angeles. The aspiring filmmaker was thrown from the e-bike and suffered a head injury. Sources said he was not wearing a helmet. Now, medics were reportedly concerned he suffered a minor brain bleed in the collision and rushed him to the hospital where he was said to be in stable condition. But instead of uniting to care for their injured son, the clashing former couple are lashing out each other, and this is according to an insider. So Angelina 49 is claiming Brad's an absent dad who never set a good example. Although a rep for the 6-year-old Fight Club actor denies Brad is blaming his ex for the nasty crash, our sources said she's been ranting at pals that because the Maleficent star is in much closer contact with Pax, she should have ensured he was properly prepared to hit the highway. An insider said from Brad's perspective, it's absurd for her to try to put any sort of blame on him. She's the one who's there day to day. He's barely around because she's totally shut him out and poisoned the kids against him. Now, didn't I say this? I was like, maybe the reason why that Brad hasn't really been in the picture is because, yeah, they live with her. She's probably bitter. Because we've seen the mean side of Angelina, if you paid attention to her career over the years. And has probably said a lot of negative things. This is why, regardless of how you feel about your man, and he did you dirty, for the sake of the children, you need to set a perfect example where it's like we don't argue in front of the kids. I forget who I saw that was on television that was saying something like that. You know what? I want to give a shout out to Kyle and Mauricio because they were like that too, regardless of how we feel of each other. I mean, against each other, even though Mauricio been cheating on her allegedly over the years. Throughout their marriage. This ain't the first situation of them leading up to the separation. He been laying low and spreading wide in that office of his, allegedly, with many women for years. Allegedly. But it's like, I got to keep hitting that alleged. Although I have heard that, allegedly ain't always going to protect you, but I'm just saying it anyway. So, they're like, we have to put up a united front. We don't want to badmouth each other in front of the children. And kudos to parents that are like that, where it's like, they're not going to badmouth each other. But I always feel like, when Angelina do be on her shady bag and doing things. But, sir, this is what you get for messing with Miss Aniston and cheating on her by getting with this lady while y'all was still with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This is what you made this bed. You got to lie in it. And my thing is, as a father, because sometimes I be wondering. I'm like, I be feeling like some people be acting like men should be in the kid's life, and y'all make a lot of comments about how men aren't in the lives of their children, and when there are men out here who want to make an effort, it's like the women have more rights than the man. And I'm wondering if that stems from because when it comes to women, you always feel like women are the bearers, the child bearers, they're the breeders, they're the ones who bring children into the world, so they should have more power because society has always said that women should stay home and cook and clean and be Susie homemaker, and so that way that gives them more power. But now the times have shifted where women are being put in more power positions, particularly in executive stuff. They're surpassing men in regards of like the big jobs. And when men actually want to be in their kids' life, it's like they really don't have as much power as they would like, or as that we had hoped. I was like, why this picture is not? Sometimes, my photo scrollation situation be messing with me, and I be getting mad over that. Let me try something else. And then we'll get to the rest of the story. I was like, yeah, let me get that, see if this picture works this time. Okay, now it's up there. I don't know. Sometimes the pictures on here be acting a fool, but whatever. So it said that he loved to be there more for Pax and all the kids, but she's managed to turn them against him so much he's practically out of the picture. So to suddenly try to scapegoat him when something goes wrong is completely unfair. But according to our tipster, Angelina is equally bitter and believes if Brad had been a more devoted dad, this never would have happened. Since the pair split in 2016, they have been locked in a nasty divorce and custody battle, and now things have taken an even more toxic turn. A source said it's a disaster and the whole family is in a state of shock. It's such a shame that even now these two are finding a way to use this against each other. Anything that goes wrong, they automatically blame each other. Well, I feel like they all shouldn't, and y'all need to really put this kid, regardless of how you feel feel about shit, I would find a way to reach out. Like, I don't know if I would text her personally, or maybe actually I would. Like, I would take that L and be like, you know what? Let me message her, or have my assistant get in contact with her assistant and use that. Because, you know, in Hollywood terms, y'all can have a mediator come between and be like, you know what? I want to forge a relationship. Because if I truly am about wanting to forge a relationship with somebody, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm going to go and move heaven and earth so that way I can spend quality time with my child and be like, you know what? Regardless of what, I understand you mad at me and you believe whatever you want to believe, but just know that when you're ready, I'm here for you. I just want to come see you. I want to spend time with you. I want to see how you're doing and all this other stuff. Because I know from the stories that I was hearing over the years, they had different styles of which they wanted to raise the children. Brad Pitt, you know, is from the Midwest. He's very much old-fashioned in the way he wants to raise. He wants to raise children the traditional way. Angelina, being a Hollywood girl, you know, someone who grew up in Hollywood, you know, who her father is, that asshole, John Voight. I don't think he was really in her life either. But from the way she was raised, she has a more unconventional approach. I believe similar to the way Will and Jada raised their children, in a very much unconventional way, which, you know, on social media, if you ever read about the Pinkett Smith kids, Willow and Jaden, y'all be going in on how they've been raised and how they're sort of free spirits, whatever. And I do believe in the whole, like, live and let live, let kids figure out who they are in a sort of way. But I do believe that children need structure and discipline. And the way I was raised is sort of like, I'm not going to be as strict as my parents when the day comes if I decide to have children. I'm not going to be as strict as my parents are, like, try to shelter them from a lot of things. Because even when I was sheltered, I always found ways to sneak and do stuff. But for the most part, I would raise them as like, yeah, I'm gonna let you kind of just live and let live, let you be your individual person. But I do believe that there should be structures put in place. Common sense would have been like, yeah, if you're going out on that e-bike, scooter, whatever the case is, you should be wearing a helmet. You can't automatically assume like, oh yeah, he's smart enough to put a helmet on his head, so he's gonna go out and do that. Now I remember growing up back in the 80s and 90s and all this other stuff, when we rode bikes or whatever, what the helmet schmelmet? None of us wore helmets. Now it seems like the way the world is, everybody got to have pads on, helmets. If I broke my arm, we just went to the hospital, got a cast, and called it a day. And then the people just come with a little marker and get it signed. That was the good thing I loved about wearing the cast. Is the fact that you get people to sign this shit, you get to walk around like it's a badge of honor. And I used to eat rocks and all kinds of other stuff when I was a kid. So it's like, but these days now, it's like everybody got an allergy, everybody's allergic to stuff. But when you're in a situation where it's like, yeah, we didn't have e-bikes back then, but even we had motorcycles and scooters and things of that nature. And if you did that, yeah, you wore a helmet. But that was common sense. Those are more dangerous. But it was like when it came to a bike, it was like we rode the bike. If we flipped off the bike, we didn't die. We got a little concussion. And we went to the hospital, had it checked out, or we had like a broken arm or whatever the case was, to call it a day. But in this situation, it was like, yes, sis, you know better. Like if your kids are spending more time with you, you should have been the one that's in the picture and made sure that Pax was doing what needed to be done. Now, in regards to Brad, hopefully he could work things out with his son and the rest of the kids, and I really hope the best for them. And because this is unfortunate, I don't like when there's like this whole family dynamic where it's like the kids don't get along with the parent, that the parent's not in the child's life and all this stuff. So I really hope they work it out. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? And do y'all think that they both wrong? Do you think Angelina's wrong? Do you think Brad's wrong? Whatever y'all thoughts are on this team, let me know in the comments down below. So who is Sailor Mermaid sending me a message? Somebody, do I want to do Fire Island? Well, look, if I would like to around my birthday, since it's September 2nd, if they actually give me that day off, then I'd be like, I might want to do another trip, Reese Beach. That's where all the poor people go, to Reese Beach. He said, I wonder if Bravo messed up by relying too heavily on individual housewives to bring in ratings instead of trusting the formula of the franchise. They could have learned a lot from drag. Well, yeah, it's like you structure the show around the people that you cast. And so it could be that. And then Andy, you know, he has his favorites. And that was another thing too. He would have like certain favorites on the show that he would baby and pander to more so than certain people on the show. Where it was just like his favorites would be, you know, Bethany and Nene, and he would get a lot closer with a lot of these, Kyle. Every time Dorit would talk with her long-winded behind, he would like yawn and stuff. Oh, because he's like, I read the message live for him. It was like when he messaged me or whatever. It was like, yeah, kids love doing wheelies and having a bike go while they holding it up with the handlebars. I was like, yeah, we was doing all kinds of crazy shit when we were kids. She's damaged from the mess that is. And that's what I was thinking more or less of. Like, Brad Pitt is not somebody who came from Hollywood. He's someone that went to Hollywood and became an actor. I forget the name of the horror movie that he's in that I watched a couple of weeks ago that is on Tubi. There's an old 80s slasher movie that he's in. But yeah, and it seems like that a lot of that she was look, Angelina been through a lot. If you follow her career and stuff and like where she came from and the fact that I believe she was on heroin at one point, and remember she played Gia Karanji, the model, who died of a heroin overdose. And she was kind of like, I feel like Angelina's life mimics or mirrors Drew Barrymore. Like, they have a lot in common in the way they came up in the business and the tumultuous parents who they had that was in Hollywood. So not having that great relationship with her father, a lot of times the trauma from your past, they say you're doing to repeat it. And I'm sure that maybe she wasn't thinking about it, but I feel like that trickled down into how she was raising her children. And then it's like when things don't go right with the man that you was in a relationship with, then you start with the poison. So I don't put nothing past Angelina. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Pod Meets World. So Danielle Fishel says she felt awkward about her weight gain being the focus of a storyline on Boy Meets World. Now, on the latest episode of the pair's Pod Meets World podcast, Fishel, who played Topanga Lawrence on the series, claims showrunners called her into the office to inform her that her weight gain would be incorporated in an episode of the hit series Boy Meets World, which was a show I grew up watching. I love that damn show. I remember I went to summer camp and the pilot for Boy Meets World was about to air, and I was so mad because I was going to be at camp when it aired because it came on a Friday. Because I remember part of the TJIF lineup. And I remember that I set the timer because back then you had to set timers on your TV for it to record on a VHS cassette tape or VHS tape, as they would call it. And I was like, I could not wait to get home and watch that show. And I was so happy because I love that show. Like, I was, Corey was like in my head, my best friend. And then Sean, I wanted a friend like Sean. Like, it was a mess. And then, over the years, they made Will Friedle's character, Eric, they made him an airhead. I was like, they started playing into that. Like, I think because of and even though Boy Meets World was a hit, I feel like they made him more of an airhead years later. But I feel like they were trying to mimic that whole Cody from Step by Step type situation. And then you had Urkel. So they were trying to play up the whole nerd, ding ding type of storylines with the show because that was popular in the 90s. But anyway, she also said, now, according to Fishel, who's 43, both she and Friedle, 48, who played Eric Matthews on the show, were told, obviously you guys have gained a little bit of weight, so we're going to write an episode about it, and we just want you to know, and here's what it's going to be, and it's going to be really funny. Full House, God, we got to talk about this bitch again. Full House star Candace Cameron Bure, who was the podcast guest, interrupted to say her jaw was on the floor. Well, quite as it's kept, she was a big girl on that show, too, at one point. I remember that being the hardest part for me was the meeting Fisher went on because Will was very much like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine with it. Just immediately, I know he was very insecure and it was very painful and hurtful for him. The duo's other co-host, Ryder Strong, who played Sean Hunter on Boy Meets World, pointed out that Friedle, who was absent for the recording, was dying inside despite his response. Well, of course he was going to say that he was okay with it because to me, I feel like you're on a TV show, you're happy to have a job, and you're a kid, so you feel like you don't have as much pride. It's the same thing we was talking about with Quiet on Set. There were certain things that was going on the kids instinctually felt uncomfortable with, but because it's a show and it's funny, whatever, and you're trusting these adults, you're going against your better judgment and your instincts. So of course you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm fine with it, but deep down it's like, when you're a teenager, you're so insecure about every little thing. You get a pimple, you're getting hair growing out of places you ain't know you can grow hair from. Your weight is fluctuating. And girls specifically, I remember in the 90s, because that's the era I remember growing up in, there was always stories about, fat jokes with the kids and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I only gained like 5. Like when you're a teenager, your hormones are going, bonkers. So your body, you're trying to balance on your hormones, you're growing up and all this other stuff. So it's like, I'm not even fat. What are you talking about? So what is it? Yeah, right. So Ryder Strong basically said that he was dying inside beside the response, but I didn't know that. Official explained, adding that the conversation took her by surprise, saying for me it was more like, oh wow, no one had said anything to me about it. I had been aware that I'd gained weight, but I was still a size 4. Whose drawers are these? You know I am a size 4. Shout out to Maya girl. You know that song. But anyway, look, she don't look fat there, but that's probably like an old picture, but whatever. Or maybe from a different time. And so I remember thinking, wow, these people think I've gained enough weight that we have to write an entire episode about my weight gain. And right now I have to say I'm fine with it because they didn't even present to me another alternative. The actress confessed that even if they did, she probably wouldn't have felt comfortable being like, yeah, I don't want to do that. She shared the situation was just in her head forever. Yeah, because it's like when you're a kid, people don't realize like the things that people do to you when you're a kid, that scars you and that sticks with you, especially like if you're someone who has battled weight when you're a kid. If you were like, oh yeah, I was the fat kid when I was a kid or whatever, and then you grow up and it's sort of like there's that inner battle with yourself because yeah, when people tease you and call you names, those are like the things that stick with you and scar you, so you live with that trauma for the rest of your life until you can find ways to get through it through therapy or maybe a podcast or a talk show, whatever you have, or the success. But it's like, yeah, when you have grown ass adults who are writing on a TV show that play into your insecurities and think, oh yeah, it's gonna be funny. I was like, yeah, it's funny to you because your ass ain't gotta be on fucking camera. It's a joke at my damn expense. Now, Cameron Bure, who's 48, looks older than that, yeah, who played teen DJ, aka Donna Joe Tanner, on Full House, could relate to that ordeal. She said her 90s sitcom producers approached her about it differently. She explained that she lost like 20 pounds from the end of one season to another, and because they thought it was so great, they suggested she be on an exercise bike in the opening credits to promote that. Looking back, I don't think that was bad. I mean, I really put a lot of hard work and effort into losing 20 pounds. This is what she shared later, adding, they actually talked to my mom and dad, and they talked to me and said, would you feel comfortable if we wrote an episode like this? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then she said she was okay with the idea. She said she did feel a little awkward doing it. And I think it's probably because, Candace probably trusted her parents because her parents came to her and was like, this is, oh, it might be a good idea for you to like to try this, whatever. And then we'll see how you feel about it, whatever the case. And she was like, yeah, okay. And it's like, what? Kids are impressionable. Kids are going to, feel like, okay, you make me feel safe in so many ways. So I'm going to actually do it and feel no kinds of way about it, even though deep down inside you feel a kind of way. So yeah, I just feel like in the future, people who do these type of shows, I hope a lot of these writers, people in the industry are listening to this and realize, like, you know what? I love shows like this where it's like celebrity kids or, child stars come up and they're like, this is what I was going through at the time when I filmed this episode of this show, and the writers came to us with this thing, and we felt like, you know what, even though we're young and impressionable, we didn't realize our worth and our power and stuff, we're going to go along with it, even though we instinctually felt uncomfortable having to do it. Like, why are you making jokes about me being a big girl or me gaining weight or whatever the case is? Because it's just an insecure thing. Or you making it seem like I gain like I'm Lori Beth size from all that. You act like I gained that much weight. I'm sorry that I had to give Lori Beth Denberg that damn stray, but you look, I had to give y'all a type of example. Child star, big girl, that y'all could see the situation. So I said, let's say, what do y'all think of this story? Like I said, Boy Meets World was like one of my all-time favorite shows growing up as a kid. I stayed watching anything TGIF. It was always, I was always excited with Friday nights because I watched my Family Matters. It was Full House. It was Step by Step. It was Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Boy Meets World. Like, I was watching all those damn shows growing up. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, you said. I remember the episode of Full House where DJ went on a diet and fell over after work and out on the show. That's probably the one they're referring to. And they said, and she did it to fit in a bathing suit. There's always been jokes about that. Didn't they even do there was always lines about fat stuff. Like even Halloween 4, the I almost said the Revenge of Michael Myers. That was part 5. The Return of Michael Myers. And you had Rachel came in and she was like, the mother was like, that's not all you're eating, are you? She's like, I'm on a diet. You want to oink her for a daughter? And I'm looking at her like, bitch, you're not even fat. Like, stop. So, and I love Rachel in that damn movie. But for the most part, it's just like, there was a lot of that played into a lot of those movies and TV shows and stuff when they were growing up. And they said part of the problem was that is for a lot of girl models were stick thin and people thought they had to look like that to be pretty. 9 times out of 10, they was smoking them damn cigarettes. They was on drugs. They was doing all kinds of stuff just so they could maintain that figure. Then Raven Simone did an episode of That's So Raven where they photoshopped her being skinny. Yeah, because her weight fluctuated over the years. Even B. Arthur was affected by the "You're So Ugly" jokes on Golden Girls. Can't imagine. And you want to know something? B. Arthur was not ugly. They was like because she had a deep voice. She was masculine presenting. She endured a lot of lesbian jokes and stuff too. So it was just based off of your appearance. The writers do what they need to do. And yeah, the shit is funny, but then you don't realize like even when you're acting, how that affects the person. Like, is this how you really think of me? Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Bo DeMayo, fine ass, who is out here revealing that he has not been invited to the 2024 Emmys. Now, he did create X-Men 97. He worked on the first 2 seasons, so we already know that season 1 came and went. Season 2 is supposed to be, who knows when it's coming, but he did work out, I believe, the outline. I don't know if he did the scripts and all this other stuff. It probably says in the article, but he said that he worked extensively on the first 2 seasons, and for undisclosed reasons, because we still have no idea why he was fired, but he was fired from being in X-Men 97, the creator. And he has since been replaced, all this other stuff, but he's saying that because, the Emmys is coming up next month. His invite seems to have gotten lost in the mail. DeMayo's invite got lost in the mail. So Bo DeMayo, the official creator of the X-Men 97 reboot on Disney Plus, who was reportedly fired from the series just days before its premiere, has shared an update about where he stands with Marvel Animation, Marvel Studios, and the overall Walt Disney Company. Now, ever since the nominations for the 76th Primetime Emmy Awards were revealed and X-Men 97 was obviously nominated, fans have been flooding DeMayo with questions about whether or not he'll attend the ceremony to present the show. To those asking, Marvel Disney has not reached out to arrange my attendance. Oh wait, damn, I lost my spot. Hold on. To arrange my attendance to the Emmys for the show, I created #X-Men97, DeMayo wrote in a Twitter post. We shall see. My team has reached out. Shrug emoji. The initial Twitter post prompted even more questions from fans, and DeMayo took time to respond to a few of them. Twitter user @Ryan4MJ4Ever wrote, you absolutely should be going. You created or were a major part of the creation, one of the best shows of the year in any format. Game changer for animation, in my opinion. DeMayo replied, I created and produced it and was the entire creative point and leader on every aspect of stage and production. Another fan, Moon Prism Per, wrote, or is it Moon Prism Power? Because it put PWRRR, wrote, wow, so how far did your work go till? Just season 1 or more? And DeMayo responded, I wrote and conceived all of season 2, but can't speak on the state of things now. Now, for context, Marvel Animation has already picked a new showrunner to replace DeMeo, best known for his work on What If. Writer Matthew Chauncey has been hired not only to write the third season of X-Men 97, but also to revise the season 2 scripts previously completed by DeMeo. This is via Deadline. Probably because he want to get some kind of credit on it, so he'll work with DeMeo's ideas, but probably come in and add a little seasoning to the situation. Even though DeMeo is a person of color, he want to add a little extra seasoning to it. Because then, if I'm coming in as the showrunner of someone else's idea, I do want to have some kind of input, so I can see why they probably have him coming in and revising things. So another fan had a rather shady response while resharing DeMeo's original Twitter post, saying, "No shade, but we weren't," at Marco Von Doom wrote. DeMeo replied, "Haha, you don't see my DMs?" Interestingly, this Twitter user went from slightly shady to clearly thirsty right after getting a response from DeMeo. The entire first season, as you know, of X-Men is now streaming on Disney Plus if you haven't seen it already. But I am wondering, I am pretty curious as to why Bo is not a part of the show. We still haven't heard anything. Now, there's always been rumors floating around in regards of why Bo has been fired. There's some people that said that he had an OnlyFans page. I have seen his nudes. I don't know about his OnlyFans, but I have seen photos of him naked. They were sent to me. Shout out to the person who sent me those. And he got body. As you can see up in here, he definitely hits the gym a lot. Now, but there have been rumors of DeMeo being difficult to work with behind the scenes. And, that some people feel like he wasn't respectful to the stuff going on about the fact that, he wasn't respectful to the source material shows he's worked on, such as The Witcher. And allegedly he was fired for being emotionally and physically abusive to the other writers. Let's also not forget his Twitter account was a dumpster fire where he debated with fans regarding sunspot skin color because, he is Afro-Brazilian. Some people felt like he didn't get the tone of the color of him right. That he was being a colorist. We've heard those stories. That he was extremely misogynistic about Emma Frost by blaming her for Cyclops' actions. I need to look deeper into the whole Cyclops Emma Frost situation because I was confused by that. But I remember I saw a big debate about it on Reddit. And according to Matt Ambrosio, who was a writer-producer on The Witcher, he also referred to bottoms as disease receptacles. Oh, damn. So that means you a top niece? He also called bisexuality a trope, and he likes to go out of his way to kill off gay characters despite being a homosexual himself. So, in so many ways, when you have a reputation in Hollywood for being problematic, in so many ways, I'm not surprised that, the Emmy elites haven't invited you to the Emmys or to any other place. I know he's worked on a bunch of other things. He was one of the writers on the Blade reboot. I don't know what happened with that. So many people came and went on that whole situation. But, in regards to that, it's just I don't know what to believe at this point. I really want to know what's the tea. Now tell me what's the tea. What's the tea? Now tell me what's the tea. I want to know the tea in regards to why he was fired. And maybe he had to sign an NDA over there at Disney, and who knows how long that NDA is going to last. But I'm sure, look, if anybody knows what the tea is, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. But maybe down the road, because he didn't answer the question when somebody put out there why were you fired? And he's been asked this many a times. So maybe there's an NDA or something in place where he can't respond and he can't answer it. So I guess we got to respect that for now. But I'm sure down the road we will find out why he was fired. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Or you feel like, regardless of what happened, that Bo DeMeo should be invited to the Emmys? First of all, they've invited far worse people to a lot of these award shows and events and things based off of their reputation. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so speaking of comments, I knew Sailor Mermaid was going to say something. I was thinking that the whole time when I was talking about that story. It's well, karma's a bitch. This is what anti-blackness gets you. Talented writer and sexy as hell, but hey, okay. Speaking of B. Arthur, they now doing reports and videos on the nanny, CC Babcock, She was looking in the flower shop and blushing, queen, so the bump from throughout one of those crushing scenes. What was she to do? Where was she to go? She's out on her fanny. Oh my God, I used to live for that theme song. Why'd you have to put the nanny up in here? Look at me doing my theme song shit. I said they're now doing reports of videos about the nanny Cece Babcock. Now her boss bitch persona was used to make fun of her masculine identity. Like, yeah, this is what I said. The whole same thing with B. Arthur. B. Arthur looks like she would kick somebody's ass. Compare her to the ultra feminine demure Fran Fine, both a pick me girl spectrum. Cece being a butter Niles transfer. Oh please, I live for her and Niles going at it. Niles going at it on the show. That was always the highlight for me. Classism, elitisms, and her lack of intelligence. It's mercy, forgiveness, and what was that damn line from? I thought I had it too when I was thinking about Kill Bill. And so I still can't understand why they fired him. That's what I was saying. I really want to know the tea. Like, what happened? Like, it had to be something crazy. But I do think that maybe it was a toxic work environment, that maybe it was some stuff going on behind the scenes with his behavior or whatever. Who knows? Maybe he was taking steroids. I don't know. I mean, do y'all think that all of that is from working out at the gym? It could be. There's a same here. Oh yes, I said. Oh, you talking about the pictures? And so he also let Storm and black characters on X-Men '97 having little screen time in compared to the non-black characters. Because it's like it seemed like to me that y'all always, and it's not just him. Bryan Singer did that shit too. Because it's like, why do y'all always keep giving all the screen time to Wolverine, Jean, and fucking Cyclops? They're not the only ones that's on that damn show. Now I will say this: I was glad that y'all gave Jubilee a lot more screen time than y'all did. First of all, she was always reduced to a damn cameo in those freaking movies, which irritated the hell out of me. But I do agree with you on the whole situation. Like, yeah, Storm should have been given a bigger part, especially because Storm is like one of the baddest bitches in X-Men. I don't know why y'all be sitting up here acting like she ain't all that powerful, like she don't need to be having her whole situation on the thing. Like, we know what Storm is capable of from the comics, but y'all keep playing in her face, and I'm tired of y'all doing that. So hopefully she'll get a lot more screen time in season 2, and hopefully she'll get a lot more screen time when they revive the X-Men for the MCU. One of my top 3 favorite themes. Oh, because I was always thinking the nanny. The nanny would be one of them. Damn, that's a lot of them. I do love the Family Matters theme song. When days go by. I do love A Different World, bitch. Not the first season. The one with Aretha Franklin. That was my favorite theme song. The Cosby Show changed theirs so damn much. It's like I can't even choose which. Well, I never was really into the Cosby Show theme song like that. Who else? The Jeffersons, Moving On Up. That's my favorite. Good Times. So look at me. Just I could go here all day with the theme songs. I even like The Rock. Not The Rock. Remember that show Rock with Charles S. Dutton? I like the theme song. I think they did a theme. Who did they theme song? I think it was In Vogue. Did they theme song at one point? I did like that theme song too. I used to, oh, my comment didn't show. Oh, you be getting mad when I don't be reading all the damn comments. We used about this one. I just want to know what the hell he did. I did respond to that. And it said, and having Storm pleading with Sebastian is utterly disgusting. And when he was called out for it, he had the nerve to say black people are more than fighting and need to be less violent. Well, damn. He said all that? Well, I'd have you in the chat that you was going to reference everything. So I'll be missing out on everything. And it said, ever since he got fired, he went back to thirst trapping. Oh, yeah, I've been seeing all them pictures on that on Twitter. Oh, and so I think he was slanging on that wood, granted on that wood on OnlyFans. And we can't have that over on the family friendly network. I was like, damn, well, I guess you know what, them writing gigs was few and far between. So you got to be out here selling peen for a fee. But Hollywood, y'all need to stop with the holier than thou mess, because quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of people out there who be slobbing knobs and bringing their knee pads to meetings for parts. So I don't know why y'all be getting mad at Bo DeMayo for doing it, but you had a lot of actors out here getting fucked for a damn movie part, male and female. Yes, Storm is Omega level. Exactly. And it was like also a lot of Brazilians are color. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. You had a lot of comments, Shell. It's like, yeah, I like to make Storm show sympathy for, like to make Storm show sympathy to a genocidal monster who killed her people and friends in Genosha. Never sat well with me. Okay. But anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about Miss Hunter Schafer, who doesn't want to be called a trans activist. And one of the things is I will say that I agree with her on this because I feel like there is this thing that not just with her as a trans woman, but also queer people in general. I feel like when you're a part of a marginalized community, but we're gonna stick with the queer community in general. I don't want to bring other nationalities and ethnicities and things into this. Let's just stick with the homosexuals, the transgenders, and all of the in-betweens. There always seems to be this thing when you're an openly queer actor or you're an openly trans actor that all of a sudden you have to become an activist. And that's basically a hybrid where you're an actor and an activist, which we've seen people like Billy Porter try to take on. We've seen Angelica Ross take that on. We've seen Laverne Cox come out and say some things politically, even though, we've seen T.S. Madison, who does act, so she is considered an actress. She has a SAG card, so she's an actress. And she comes out and talks political stuff too. And there always seems to be this thing that you have to come out and speak out on things when you're in the community or when you're in a marginalized community. You got a windmill for the community, and because when there's very few, you got to carry everything, all the weight on your back. So Cuckoo star Hunter Schafer has spoken again about her disdain at being called a transgender activist after previously revealing that she has turned out a lot of trans roles. Despite rising to fame as trans teen Jules Vaughn in controversial teen drama Euphoria, the actress remains keen to distance herself from the trans label. Speaking to Rolling Stone magazine recently, Schafer said, "I just happen to be a person who's part of a marginalized community in the public eye, and people love to call me an activist." She says, "No, I'm just a tranny who's famous." Those are her words, not mine. Schafer has spoken for some time about her dislike for transgender being used as a prefix to describe her. In April, the actress said she finds it demeaning to be labeled a trans actress because she's like, no, I'm an actress. And I think that's why a lot of people get mad when marginalized people do that. It's sort of like when, who was it? There was a black actor. Damn, who was it that said that? That was like, I don't want to be considered a black actor. I'm an actor. And people got mad. It was Idris Elba. That's what it was. I knew it was going to come to me. I was like, black, bald. Well, he's not really bald. He got like a tight little fade. But he was saying that. I'm just like, okay, I'm an actor, but I happen to be black because I don't want to be just marginalized and only put down into this one thing. And to me, I feel like Hunter has become that girl that has been able to transcend beyond being a trans actor. There are a lot of actors out here who was like, yeah, I played trans, whatever. And I think T.S. Madison even mentioned, she said, there's a couple of movies I've done where, I played trans, but I've also played, just a woman, or it's not mentioned. And I haven't seen Cuckoo yet, so I'm not sure if she's playing a trans teenager or she's just playing, her character. But there always seems to be this thing when, as an actor, and you're a marginalized part of a marginalized community, they only want to lump you into this small little box. So I totally get where she's coming from with this. She says, however, she did admit to feeling guilt and not wanting to be a spokesperson for the community. She says, I know I'm one of the most famous trans people in media right now and feel a sense of responsibility and maybe a little bit of guilt for not being more of a spokesperson. But ultimately, I believe that not making it a centerpiece to what I'm doing will allow me to get further. Although she may be reluctant to be a spokesperson, Schafer rose to prominence in the U.S. in 2016 after she was named as the youngest complainant in a lawsuit against a North Carolina bill that prevented trans people from using the toilets that matched their gender identity. Since her Euphoria role, Schafer has played a number of cisgender characters, including Tigris Snow in Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and Gretchen, a Scream Queen. Okay, so she is not playing a trans character. Because I was like, is she? Because I haven't seen Cuckoo yet, but I do want to see the movie because I've heard great things. So she's playing Gretchen, a Scream Queen in Tillman Singer's new psychological horror film, Cuckoo. So I feel like in this case, I do agree with her on this. Like I said before, nobody wants to sit up out here and be a spokesperson and be like, well, yeah, I understand like I'm the most successful person to come out in that way. It's not like I'm denying who I am, but I don't want this to be all of who I am. Yes, I'm an actress who happens to be trans. Yes, once upon a time I was a boy and now I'm not anymore. If I was a boy, it's like, I'm not a boy no more. I'm a woman. And I don't want y'all to have to try to lump me in this whole situation, making me like, well, I now have to speak out. So what do you think of this whole situation with this? And I got to be the spokesperson for every damn thing. But I do feel like once people respect me at a place, maybe, you know, down the road, I hope that down the road, when she gets to a place where she is respected as just an actress or whatever, and y'all see her beyond the whole situation, because now she is in a place where she has that privilege and that wherewithal. It's like when you have a lot of power in Hollywood and you've been in a position where you don't have to, when you're beyond that, then you can come out and windmill for the community. So I hope she's not going to try to ignore the whole trans thing completely, because it is a part of who you are. I do feel like when it's warranted, speak out on it. I don't feel like you need to speak out on everything, because it's like, yeah, I'm not going to sit out here and be like this political activist. But when it comes to certain situations, I'll speak out on it when need be. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding Hunter Schafer and her saying what she said in this whole situation? Like, do you feel like it is the responsibility of someone who is an actor from a marginalized community, whether you're a queer person, a Black person, Latina, Muslim, whatever the case is, do you feel that there's an obligation for actors to always have to speak out on things politically when all you want to do is make your way into Hollywood and make movies and be an actor and be taken seriously beyond, you want people in Hollywood to see you beyond your transness? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. He said Bo was adopted. DeMeo, he was? By white people? Because I'm like, if he was adopted, then it was like, you know, this, I mean, and if he's been making these comments about colorism and stuff, this is why I be getting mad when these clear folk be out here adopting the colored children. Because then I'll be like, it is your responsibility as a clear person to have these kids become educated on their background, who they from. If you adopt somebody who's from Guadalajara, Mexico, you need to introduce them to their Mexican heritage. If you adopt a child from China, they need to know about their Chinese heritage. If you adopt a child that's Black, you need to make sure that they are around some people or they are aware of their heritage or where they came from and their Black history. Because we don't need them coming out here with the underlying racism, colorism, all that other mess. And they be like, well, we see why that child fucked up, because y'all want to sit them and act like race, color don't mean anything. Oh, race doesn't matter. I don't see color. Well, bitch, you better, because other people seeing it. You can't shield your child away from the fact that there's people out here that will make racist, you know, slurs towards them or whatever the case is. It's an Adrian clock the tea. Clock that tea. Okay, so like Storm has always been my favorite X-Men. But there's something I dislike who though are self-proclaimed activists like Demi Child. Quiet as his cat. Much like Sidney Poitier, Hunter is one of the first of her kind. She is an activist whether she wants to be or not. When she grows up a little bit, she better understand it. Exactly. And that's why I was like, maybe down the road, when she's older, she'll take a different approach. But I feel like right now she's young. She's like, what, in her early to mid-20s? So right now she's just trying to make her way through Hollywood. She is like one of the most successful trans girls working right now. Like she's getting all kinds of parts as being seen beyond her transness. So I definitely see that. But at the same time, down the road, I feel like when she gets older, she'll probably and she matures a lot a bit, then she'll see that and then she'll change her mind on that. Because now it's like, yeah, we accept you on your transness. Now you can speak out and say some things. I said, I get her. Get her. Get her. You say, yeah, white family. That makes sense now. I said what I said about Brazilians and it's facts based on. I believe it. I lived with a Brazilian at one point. And I be getting that. It's like, child, y'all colored too, lest you forget. I don't understand that whole, you know, racism against your own kind, some type of situation, the Brazilians against the Afro-Brazilians, the Afro-Cubans, the Cubans against the Afro-Cubans, the Dominicans, where they thinking they white and stuff. It's like, just because you put, you relax your hair and you flat iron it and all other shit, don't necessarily mean y'all not people of color, because y'all are. You are a person of color. Okay, so now let's move on to we have two more topics, and then we are done with today's show. We have some drag race tea. Deja Sky is spilling some tea, and she slammed a fellow very seasoned queen in a cryptic rant on TikTok, leaving fans bewildered, plucked, intrigued, and gagged. Now, the Nancy Drews of drag are at it again, but while the detectives of the wider RuPaul's Drag Race universe are usually set on figuring out the cast of the next All-Stars, of course, this time they've been given an entirely different sort of case. Enter season 14's Deja Sky, who came in 6/7 alongside All-Stars 9 and maybe 10's Georges. No, maybe she is on the season, and was best known for winning the season's diabolical snatch game, chucking out dad jokes, and generally getting along with the entire cast. The same, it seems, cannot be said for the wider Drag Race family, as the Sky took to TikTok to post a cryptic rant seemingly addressed to a workroom sister. Now, we do have that clip. This is what I hate, that TikTok plays videos automatically. It's like, ma'am, wait for me to be to put the damn thing up. So I'm gonna post the clip. Well, I'm gonna put up the clip so y'all can hear it and see who she's talking about.
Can be a queen, a very seasoned queen. I'm talking over 20 years, and be intimidated by little old me. The fact that you are that insecure is crazy. It's mind-boggling that you are the one, you are it, you are multifaceted, so confident, but yet you can't give your flowers to someone else. You can't let someone else get up there with you. You're not always going to be around, baby. What you do is great. Phenomenal. What I do is great. Phenomenal. There's room for everyone. The fact that you would stop someone's bag is crazy. The fact that you just wouldn't let someone be great along with you shows what kind of person you are. Ooh, and Miss Karma will come back tenfold. She will. And I can't wait to see how this turns out. Let's talk about...
I can't see how this turns out, in the words of her. So, rightfully so, a lot of people took to social media, Twitter particularly, to end her TikTok where that video was from and asked who she was talking about. Even Baba Drag Queen joked. She was like, I literally apologize. Now, the video has been reposted on Twitter by a Drag Race fan account with the caption, Deja Scott knows better than to make a vague post like this without names. Now, what's the tea? Exactly. Name them. Name them, in the words of my girl Sutton Strack. Scott for her part joked in response, and if I said it was Michelle Visage. Another possible joke candidate, according to the comments, was JoJo Siwa, who never should have effed her. Remember, she don't know who any of the queens are, went on the season when she was a judge. Although cryptic, it's the latest in a long line of Drag Race beefs, as we know. But hold on. So now over on the TikTok, there was a couple of people that jumped in the comments. One of my friends, Jael Ramirez, I know him. He also was a drag queen, was wondering, can anybody tell me what tape this is? I've been trying to find it. Because I guess the tape that she uses to, tape down the net for the hair and all other stuff. Because I've been wondering, what kind of tape y'all be using? So she did say, by the way, I met Phoenix, because some people thought it was Phoenix. She said she met Phoenix twice and she has been lovely, so cross that off the list. Another person said the search bar is saying it's Phoenix, but she said it's not. Is this about Jules? Very demure, very mindful. I don't know what this is about, but I know I stand with the mug of season 14, Miss Deja Sky. Another person put, why do I want you to do Jules LeBron on All-Star Snatch Game? It would be so demure, so simple, so cutesy. So, and they said somebody just got back from All-Star. Yeah, because the rumor is she on that chair. Oh, look. So if anybody want to know, because one person is asking off topic, but can you please tell me where you get your vinyl tape? She said Amazon. So I guess you could look up the vinyl, the type of tape, and you can get on Amazon. Child, everybody get everything from Amazon, quiet as it's kept. But look, out of all of this, there's been a lot of people out here, who had beef. Trinity Tuck and Pheromone was going at it. Manny Morphosis about the drag queen was going at it. Morphine Love Dion had a beef with Trixie Mattel, Plain Jane with every damn body, and even Jinx Monsoon and the Pope. So at this point, you know what? I've always said I can't stand when people make vague stuff and don't say no names. Say they name, is what I always say. If you're going to talk about a queen being less than pleasant, I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to be like, well, you shouldn't have been a bitch. Now I'm going to go on social media and say that you was a nasty one. You was a nasty talk and put you on blast. So I would have said that, but you know what? The girls stay being vague. And I guess this was, they want that screen time or whatever. But girl, you wanted, have it. In the words of Jasmine Kennedy, here's your moment. Have it. Because, the girls be wanting their moment and shit. But I say, listen, what do y'all think of this story? Are you another ones that get irritated when people don't be out here, like, saying it like they mean it, ooh, ooh, shout it out in the words of my girl, Wendy Williams? Like, I can't stand a vague damn comment or post, whatever the case is. If you're going to say some names in the words of my girl, Southern Strike, name them. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Anyway, I'll check all my messages when I'm done. You said Cubans against Puerto Ricans. Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's why I won't move down to Florida, because I'd probably end up in jail for fighting. And it's like, yeah, I think they don't see themselves as black. No shade, but who's beefing with Deja Scott? She don't do anything. Exactly. That's why I was like, as I was reading it was like, this is such a non-story, but I was just like, whatever. Imani Khalif has filed a legal complaint. Somebody need to against speaking of drag queens, Sissy Space X, J.K. Rowling, Trump, Logan Paul for digital online harassment in Paris, France. That while this is protected in the U.S. as free speech. Well, they need to change that here, but we all outdated when it comes to protections and things here too. In Europe, by the European Union, this is actually illegal. What happened to Imani Khalif? Mm-hmm. As it should have been. And I know, didn't Logan Paul apologized, but I still don't matter. You still got to lump him in that situation to set an example. And Trump need to worry about his Adderall addiction and less about other people and what they doing, allegedly. But anyway, let's move on to our final topic. Before we get to that, please hit the like button, that subscribe button, and smash that notification bell if y'all haven't already, so that way you know when we go live on a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Without further ado, let's get into our final topic, which is Miss Fissalicious is throwing a little shade at Kennedy Davenport. So Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World star Miss Fiercelicious has theorized that the runways from the spinoff's most recent episode may have been cut to justify the win going to the one and only Miss Kennedy Davenport. Now, hold on a second. Okay, so now I want to pull up the picture. This is what she said. This is the look or whatever that she wore. 4 episodes into the second season of the Canadian spinoff of a spinoff, and the drama in Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World, has reached a fever pitch thanks to season 3 finalist Miss Fiercelicious. The sabotage-suffering icon placed in the bottom 2 after this episode's roast battles, which saw the 6 remaining queens paired up and tasked with dragging the hell out of each other for our amusement. The win for the challenge went to flagship franchise stalwart Season 7 and All-Stars 3 Kennedy Davenport, but the runway portion of the episode was noticeably absent. Enter Miss Fiercelicious to theorize that the two facts are connected and that the runway was left on the cutting room floor to justify giving Kennedy her second win, as the latter was wearing one of the more simple looks that week. Shout out to her voice. I kind of feel like they took out the runways and the judges critiquing us on our runways to justify Kennedy's win. I cannot stand that fucking vocal fry accent that they do over in Canada. Shit irritates me. Denim was doing it. It drove me crazy. And then I'm looking at Miss Fierce Alicia. I'm like, girl, nobody's that damn gay. Like, stop. Shout out to my homosexuals, but damn, like I really feel like y'all be overdoing it over in Canada. But let's continue. They said, don't get me wrong, Kennedy killed the challenge and had us all in stitches, but Cheryl lost to the improved challenge in episode 2 because of her excuse me, because of her runway, yet Kennedy wins in a bodysuit. The Toronto-born icon was quick to add that Kennedy had the best set, but that if the razzle-dazzle themed runways were taken into account, her Canadian sister Lemon would have taken the win. The queens all performed their rose sets in their runway looks, but the episode did not feature a traditional runway segment, as most Drag Race episodes do, something that Fierce Delicious slammed after the episode aired. She said, usually I get mad at the cast after the episodes, but tonight I'm mostly furious at production. How dare you not air our runways tonight? Some of us spent a lot of money on our runways and they deserve to be showcased. I'm like, actually not over this. This was the first time where I agree everyone did really well in the challenge, and the bullshit moment was us not getting to showcase our, I think she meant runways, and she put subways. Oh yeah, then this is the one where she was showing like the look. She was like, category is razzle dazzle. My concept for the runway was a magician that had been sawed in half. The inside of the black cape creates optical illusion with the saw blades going through my body with red crystals dripping from the blades symbolizing blood. Now, Fierce Delicious sent, as you know, she sent Eureka home. Child, when I got on the phone with a friend of mine, he was happy because he don't like Eureka over personal experience, but he was like cackling over there. I was like, ooh, you shady. But yeah, Eureka got sent home. And, now we have a top 5, which is UK Cheryl, Canada's Lemon, and RuPaul's Drag Race Alexis Mateo, as well as Kennedy Davenport and Fierce Delicious, of course. Now, elsewhere in Drag Race news, the All-Stars 10 rumored cast is available to peruse, and Global All-Stars kicks off on August 16th. Because, when we talked about on the show who the rumored cast is before, and we don't need to recap that. But here's the thing. This is why I'm, no shade, but I'm with Fierce Delicious on this. Like me, how dare y'all sit up in here and cut the runways? It's like we don't get to see stuff. So what has got to be resorted to Instagram? Because remember, like that's what would happen if you were eliminated. Like a lot of the queens, they would be like, well, had I stayed on the show, this is the outfit that I would have worn, and they posted on Instagram for y'all to see their look based off the challenge of that week. And it's effed up that the production would cut it, because I'm like, did I fall asleep or something? Because I do believe I did not have at one point. One of the habits I have that my friend keeps telling me about when we talk about Drag Race and stuff, he's like, you need to stop watching Drag Race so damn late, because you always fall asleep on the damn show whenever you put it on. And I watched it, I think I watched it on Sunday, because it was like I wasn't able to see it on Friday, because I told her I went out on Friday. I went to I was in Brooklyn partying, so I didn't get to watch Drag Race Canada. I was going to do it when I came home from work, but after I got an invite to go hang out a $3 bill, I was like, let me go out hang out on there. And then Saturday I worked again, so by the time I got home, I was exhausted because I barely got any sleep the night before. So Sunday I was able to like catch up on sleep and everything, and then I spent that time catching up on stuff. And one of the shows was Canada's versus the World, so I did catch up on it. It was a good episode. First of all, I think Fierce Delicious was mad because she was trying to, she was rushing through her jokes. She really thought she had it in the bag. Cheryl was eating her up in them reads. And it didn't work out. I mean, no, it wasn't Cheryl, it was Lemon. Lemon was eating her up in the reads. She thought it was going to be, I guess, easy, whatever. And she did say that her choice of picking Lemon was strategic, which it definitely worked. But I felt like Lemon should have won that challenge. I don't even remember Kennedy's back and forth. I may have to rewatch the episode again, but I don't remember Kennedy's read with Alexis Mateo. I probably did doze off during that segment because I don't remember. All of a sudden, I remember waking up and they was on the runway. So I probably did fall asleep. So I'm going to have to rewatch the episode again. But I do feel like Lemon was a cackle. And I'm definitely not surprised that Eureka was in the bottom, because she was mad that Cheryl was like, you took my bit, bitch. So Eureka going home during that challenge, that wasn't a surprise. But I do feel like, production, y'all need to have respect for a lot of these queens that come on this show. Because like I've said many a times, so many of these girls come on this show I don't know any other reality show where people have to pay money to come on so that way they can give y'all these fashions so that way they don't get read for filth from people at home who don't know dick about drag because they think this is what drag is. So they got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or maybe just thousands of dollars in the doubles, not the triples, unless you're Plastique Tiara, where you spend a shit ton of money. But for the most part, this is the only show that I know that people spend so much money having to present glam every episode. And if I'm on the show and I'm looking Naomi Campbell fierce, I should be allowed to show that. Like, why would y'all cut that out? But this is probably why I've had issues, grievances with Canada's Drag Race and how messy they are. First of all, them judges are all a job. No kind of personality with either one of them. So I don't particularly care for the show. And then the contestants don't really give me what needs to be given. I mean, there's a couple of them that have come out that have stood out. Like I said, Malinda Verga. I hope we see her in the future. Then we have Miss Fissalicious. Say what you want about her, but she is definitely good TV. Lemon is good TV. There's a bunch of who else? Priyanka's good TV. Like, there's so many girls that have come from the show. Not all of them, but there's a couple of the girls from Canada that be given what needs to be given in regards of the talent and the TV worth watching. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all irritated? Like, Fierce Delicious, does she have a valid point? And like, okay, we spent all this money, we worked so hard on this show, only for our stuff to be cut because I want to show us in the outfits that we wore to for the critiques and the lip sync and all this stuff. So was it shot out of sync or whatever the case was? I guess I don't know why they cut it, but yeah, that was a dumb decision. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Okay, so Onyx says that's odd that they don't have a run. They didn't have a runway. Fierceless is just mad she didn't get princess treatment this time. That's another thing too, because yeah. That was another thing too, because she was sitting there crying and whining about how the judges were. I should have won that challenge because remember in the last challenge, she really thought she had it in the bag with the fashion challenge, the design challenge, and when Alexis Mateo won over her, you see her face, she was pouting. So. Although she made valid points because it was like, yeah, why didn't they have a runway? Like, that's annoying. The runway is always incorporated. That is a main thing that we always expect from Drag Race. It should have been incorporated. She has come across as a spoiled brat throughout the show, which is why I really don't care for Fierce Delicious in that way. It's like, I don't know if it's TV or if it's just really your person. First of all, we can't blame everything on the damn edit. I'm sure editing does take place in certain things to fit a certain narrative, but we can't always blame the edits on stuff. Your personality is your personality. The face you made is the face you made. So, or the way you came across, the way you came across. Especially when she got into it with Tainomi in the last episode. So, I do agree with with you on that whole situation that she do be getting mad that she don't get, she doesn't, she's not getting spoiled. Tell me about my eyes. Like, give me attention and all that stuff. Like, it's too much of that. I thought it was crazy that Eureka got eliminated with the trans flag color bodysuit and being trans is her only. I feel like she's using, like, it's giving very much like, okay, girl, like, we get it. You're trans now. You don't need to make it like, is it like all of who you are? Is it your identity? I just feel like you just, some of these people be weaponizing their stuff as a storyline to have on the show. It's like, girl, we know you're a woman now. Now, what else you giving? Yeah, I was in Brooklyn, but not in a dark room. For $3 Bill doesn't really have they don't have a dark room. It's just, it's this big wide open space. They have like a bar, then they have like the dance floor, and there was a lot of drag performances going on. So yeah, it was no dark room. I was basically like regular partying. Now, I ain't said I ain't never been in a dark room. I don't frequent them, but this time I was literally there for a drag show. Well, a bunch of shows. Aren't they they're on the show to promote themselves, but I feel like the show would just kind of expanded beyond this whole thing where it's a requirement that, oh, well, we really got to show out for the fashion. But then again, it's like, you know what? We can't, I don't think we could really blame Drag Race entirely. Yeah, now it's a requirement that it's like you got to spend money to come with the fashions and stuff, but You don't have to spend $100,000 just so that you could bring clothes out on the runway and show your looks and things. There's some people that's like, what was it? There was one of the queens said that she spent under $1,000 on her clothes because she made everything. The one that wears all the purple that actually won. Didn't she win Canada's versus the world? One of the seasons. I don't know why injury is in my head. That's probably because she just won. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of her. But when I always talked about how y'all know who I'm talking about. The one that always said that Evie Ollie stunk. Raja. Thank you, Raja O'Hara. She was she talked about how she didn't spend a whole lot of money and she designed her looks, and her looks was everything. So you don't have to spend all that money. A lot of y'all choose to break the bank because it's like y'all want to, people get caught up in ego and want to impress and that sort of thing. Makes sense. Yeah, Lucy Duca. Let loose, I said let her loose. He's like, yeah, like Lucy LaDuca. Thinking like, and it seems like every season is one of them girls that has to constantly be like, yeah, I should have won that challenge. And it's always one of those girls that be whining and complaining about that whole situation. So, have to keep an eye on that whole situation. I was like, I don't even know how I missed that. But apparently I didn't because it didn't air. I was like, did I miss the... Oh, and aren't you in the UK? So you never even seen UK versus the world or Drag Race UK? But then again, we can't always assume that every person is into, drag or drag race. Not everybody watches all of that. And that's fine. Okay, anyway, so we're officially at the end of the show. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for an episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered for all the latest in celebrity news and hot topics. Also, be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and smash that notification button if you haven't already, so that way you know we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I want to thank everybody that was in the comments with me today, chatting with me along with the show, including Adrian, Felix, Robert, Onyx, Sailor Mermaid, Ron. If I miss anybody, I apologize. But I live for the fact Roro was even in here too, talking about B. Arthur and stuff. But yeah, I think Raphael was in here too. At one point, that's not the name he goes by on here though, but that's his actual government. Oh yeah, and Lindsay was up in here too. Hey, girl. She dipped in and dipped out. We was talking about Leah McSweeney. But yeah, so thank you everybody for who was in here and keying with me. We'll be back tomorrow. I know I told you I wasn't doing one yesterday, but I will be back tomorrow with the latest and hot topics and stuff. But hopefully there's some tea going on that's worth chatting about. And I'm sure there is once I do my Google schmoogle and I do my research and all that other stuff. So thank you all for watching. Love you, love you, love you. And until next time, ciao, darlings.